David, did you watch that curling video from 1972?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
First off, the guy falling and kicking the stone is spectacular, but that they're all ripping darts while playing is, God dang.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Thursday. Just a reminder, boys, Valentine's Day is Saturday. Don't forget. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Mark is with us again this morning, feeling better. The last 36 or so hours. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well, David. Good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? System treated us well last night, David.
I'll tell you what, though. These games are so tight. I mean, Michigan's down double digits in the first half, down 9 at the half. They're given like 12, and they damn near covered.
Yeah, they were down 16 at one point. This just in, when they get it rolling, they're pretty good.
Oh, my goodness. Are they ever?
I have not seen Arizona at all this year. I will fully admit. I've watched a decent amount of college basketball, but come on, Zona starts late. But, listening to the people that I trust in college hoop, they think Arizona and Michigan are in a separate tier. If they are, holy crap, the next tier is good. Because I think the Illini are really good. I think Duke is really good. I watched UConn struggle last night, but guess what? UConn still won. They got a big man that you get him the ball, seems to get you a bucket every time. So I'm getting excited for March because there's, okay, maybe there is a first tier with Michigan and Arizona, but there's a second tier with 4 good teams. And then there's a next tier when you throw in Nebraska and Sparty and a couple of others. And by the way, do not forget about the Florida Gators, because for a team that struggled mightily in 2025, when the new year rang, the Gators woke up and they've been playing pretty solid basketball here for a few weeks.
Yeah, the Gators look like the best chance for a team from the SEC making a deep run. We know Kentucky's got a ton of talent. I mean, their payroll's pretty high. I'm a John Cal guy. Arkansas's A game is pretty darn good. Arkansas's A game is definitely a Sweet 16 or better team, but I think the tournament's going to be amazing. I really do, for what you just mentioned. I mean, there's 5 really good Big Ten teams, and we could start ripping off the really good Big 12 teams.
Right. I didn't even mention Iowa State. I mean, there's good basketball out there.
Also, Kansas.
Houston, Kansas, right.
I mean, Kansas is really coming on. The Gators and the Jayhawks are really coming on. I mean, for Kansas to take down Arizona without their best player, Kansas's best player gets sick and can't go, and they beat Arizona. Now, I get it. It was at Allen Fieldhouse and all, but that's impressive as hell. And I just think the second week of the tournament, Mark, I don't know that we're going to have many upsets this year. Like I'm looking for teams to hitch my wagon to get a first round win. Liberty might be that team. I'll tell you what, South Florida interests the heck out of me.
All right.
South Florida's back in first place in the American, and I'm just saying that could be a very interesting 12 seed in a 5-12 game if they can win the American. Liberty's like, I don't know, they've got like one loss in the last 3 months. But I don't know how many double-digit teams are going to win games, quite frankly. But Mark, I think the Sweet 16 could be the deepest Sweet 16 we've had in a very long time. Think about it. The Gators right now are probably a 4 seed. Okay, Michigan State or Kansas, one of them could be a 4. At best, they're both 3s. I mean, that's quality. I think the second week, if all the top 15 or so teams advance, wow, that Sweet 16 Thursday and Friday is going to be special.
Boy, I hope you're right. So I'm getting excited about that. I will say that's probably the one thing that the Olympics have given me is an opportunity to watch a lot of college basketball, because the Olympics have not garnered my interest. And hockey started yesterday. I did watch, but it's on during the day. So without the NHL at night, which I've been big into the NHL this year, as I've mentioned, my wife's a Pens fan. They're good. I'm a Red Wing fan. That's my favorite pro team. They're good. And God, I hope they can win 14 more games the rest of the way. Please, Lord, please. I'm sorry. Did I do that on air? Because I think I did. And then
it's been a decade since you've seen them play a playoff game?
Yeah.
Right.
And then I do love the Lightning. And obviously the Panthers are always worth watching, even though they're struggling. So with no NHL on at night, I've just dove in, and not to mention, I've got the time around here. I've been watching a lot of college hoop, particularly the last 7 or so days, and it's really good.
That might be our first poll question of the day. How much of the Olympics are you watching? Because the Olympics have been on for almost a week now. And I'm just curious. And the U.S. has started to win some medals. So I'm just curious, how much of it are you watching? Like, we had a really good day yesterday.
I've been doing a little Olympic R&D with the nurses, because that's right. That's the audience, Dave.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they're not in.
Huh.
They're not in.
Interesting.
Wife hasn't been in that much. Now, she's got a lot going on in her world, but
world's a little busier than it was most Olympics.
Right. But I'm not sensing a lot of Olympic fever.
Gotcha.
But it's funny. I was thinking the same thing for a poll question today. So I'd like to go there, although I'm not going to lie. In the 20 minutes before the show, when you and I and Raj were all talking, I believe that we stumbled upon the potential of an all-time great poll question / and I'm not suggesting a theme show in February, but David, the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line could explode if we enter into this fray. That's all I'm saying.
Well, listen, if a theme show happens, you just go with it. Not a problem. Okay. We've got 250 other shows we're going to do this year. So, okay. What is it?
Well, Raj, as you folks have listened and know, and if you've heard him over the years in town when he was DJing and hosting shows and doing all that stuff, Raj is a music nut. And so I'll talk a little music with Raj. And this morning I asked him about a band called Goose, because I've been seeing a few clips of theirs when I go down my TikTok hole, and they do some deep Pink Floyd covers, which impresses me. And I asked Raj if he liked Goose, and he responded with the band or the guy from Top Gun, making a little joke.
Right.
And David, after we had our conversation about Goose, David chimed in because David had no clue who we were talking about.
No idea.
And David said, I liked Goose right up until he died, which brought on a conversation among the three of us that I started by saying it's one of the maybe saddest male cinematic moments since Brian died and Brian saw it. Begging the question to the audience, from a male perspective, Goose dying, Brian's song, what is your top list of you had to turn your head the other way so your wife didn't see you cry at the movie moment? Because Rod said he was probably the closest I came to crying in a movie theater was when Goose died. And, you know, David, you and I are older. The litmus test with this thing, and really not even our litmus test, but maybe our dad's almost, was Brian's song. But come on,
Right.
You know, ABC showed that once a year, every year, just for that reason.
Right. And that's also a 55-year-old reference.
Well, yeah. I mean, we've got to have one of those to start the day. Hey,
That is
hell,
true.
the Goose one is 1986.
Oh, I know.
I was going into my senior year in high school. So
I have to admit, Raj, Goose dying in that accident didn't hit me as hard as it hit you.
it didn't hit me either. But it doesn't mean it didn't hit some of you.
I mean, I have to admit, and Brown Chicken just brought it up in the Twitch chat room. I mean, Old Yeller hit me harder than Goose. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed. I mean, was it Bill Murray who did that? Come on, who cried when Old Yeller died? Admit it.
By the way, you're referencing a
Yeah, I know.
1980 movie talking about a movie from the 1960s.
Yes, I am.
I think.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The two that hit me really hard are Goose and Boys in the Hood.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I can see
All right.
that.
So, I mean, you know, Shawshank, Forrest Gump. I'm just wondering, you know, so we're looking for that cinematic moment that made men cry. Is that what we're looking for?
Yes, we are.
All right.
21,000 is the number. Pelican Roofing of Florida text line. Pelican Roof of Florida. 1-866-9 Pelican. Been a while since I've said it. I had to reach back there.
It's okay.
They call it Kilo
RCB
Brain for a
was
reason.
on the text line. Mickey and Rocky 3 was kind of rough.
Ooh, look at that.
What are we waiting for?
Wait, hold on. Mickey and Rocky 3 or Apollo and Rocky 4?
Good one, David.
You know I love to have fun at the expense of the Rocky series.
I know you do. And I don't take this as you being sincere about it. I take it
Not
as a
at
shot
Totally.
to the Rock.
To the Rock. So anyway, that's where we're going. That's where we're going to try to go. I don't know how we narrow it down to 4. I mean, all this crying so early in the morning. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass, your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Rudy sucks. Rudy should have gone to Albion so he got some playing time. Wow, I love the fact of these guys are going in areas that I've never Iron Eagle, never heard of it. Red fern grows, never heard of it.
Iron Eagle, Louis Gossett Jr. Never that one got by you. That was kind of the Top Gun time frame.
Okay. As far as how much of the Olympics are you watching, David? As much as I can, maybe only the hockey.
A lot, a little, none at all.
All right.
Well, I don't know. I'm just.
That's fine by me. I don't know what else you can really put.
EB, you got emotional when the teacher gets the call in the bullpen in Texas?
Can you do that again, David, and finish it off in the actual Mandich voice that you started it in? You got emotional?
EB, you got emotional when the teacher got the call from the bullpen in Texas? What has happened to you, man? Oh, God, he's been gone a long time.
Yeah, he has, man.
And boy, have Dolphin fans needed him over these last 15 plus years.
I obviously you don't wish that upon anybody, but maybe it's better. I don't know how he'd have been able to handle it.
Is that your German Shepherd, Johnny Mack, basically saying enough of those guys on TV, turn that down, please? Or are we getting them riled up in a good way?
Big upset yesterday in hockey in the Olympics.
Finland getting whacked, right?
Well, it was 2-1 late. I think it was empty netters, but
God. But yeah, they weren't supposed to lose to Slovakia, were they?
no. Hell no.
No, DTW, don't know what to tell you.
I think it's on your end.
Yeah. Our connections are our connections, and he's
I
not
think-
frozen
I think
anywhere
what
else.
Jay Gunn says is right. I just think he wasn't moving.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that one.
Remember, he's very low key. He can sit in the same spot for 3 minutes with barely a blink.
I did laugh. This guy that does food videos on TikTok and YouTube. So I wonder if people would like the biathlon more if they called it ski sniping.
Right. Or ski shooting, right? Yeah.
No, he said sniping.
Sniping, yeah,
Yes,
that's funny.
it is really the sport that makes I don't know if a sport makes less sense than that.
I was going to say, so what's it? It's supposedly you've got to have a low heart rate to shoot, but the skiing works your heart
Right.
rate up. So you got to, right.
But I understand. But, when in life, I mean, other than in a Bond movie,
Eh.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour on this Thursday. Hope your week is going well. You got over the hump. You can darn near see the finish line from here, right? Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. First weekend without football in a while coming up, but we got Pebble for you golf fans, and it's a signature event, so it's got a tremendous field. Once again, we've got Daytona and the 500 sold out yet again. They made that announcement yesterday. I mean, they have trouble selling tickets at some stops, a lot of stops on the NASCAR circuit, not Daytona, and not really in the summer either. I mean, it ain't the 500, but they sell an awful lot of tickets. So we got golf, we got racing. It's NBA All-Star weekend, which I think is entering Pro Bowl territory. Wow. I mean, they have really ruined a good thing. I mean, none of the big boys compete in the dunk contest, haven't for a generation. I mean, they don't play worth a darn. Now they've divvied up the game into, there's 4 different games, Mark, Sunday.
right? They had an opportunity on the heels of the Four Nations to put a World USA game on.
Yeah.
And if the players wanted to take it seriously,
Right.
well, you know what? The league could have put the game up and said, hey, it's on you, boys.
Yeah.
Go get them. USA versus the world. And right now, the world has the better roster. And that should have been enough to piss off the guys from the USA.
Right.
But whether it was the league, whether it was pressure from the union, whether it was the players saying they didn't want it, they chickened out.
Yep.
And then they put together this, whatever the hell this is.
I know.
As I get ready for the show each day, and I do it earlier and earlier now, I do the Today Was the Day When. And the site that I go to, it has, world, but it has sports. And I always go to the sports just to make sure there's something that they didn't think was big enough to make all of the events. And on that page, they always have the All-Star games.
Yeah. Was it yesterday, the day before, about Magic and the All-Star games last,
Right.
the 92 one in Orlando after he had retired. Right.
But when I look at that, I don't remember the games that much, but I remember as a kid, and I get it, but I remember the games being really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And the players took them seriously.
Well, especially in the fourth quarter. They went after it in the fourth quarter.
And obviously we're old enough to remember in the 70s, they went after it the whole game. 70s and 80s. And then you're right. Then it was the fourth quarter. But we're at a point in basketball where the best players are not from the United States right now. This is our game. I'm sorry, it is. Hockey, you can say, is Canada's game. Baseball, football, basketball, they're our games. And baseball right now, well, I don't know the World Baseball Classic's out there. We don't win. So I would think that the Hoopers would play hard for one game, particularly after the Four Nations. They're aware of it. Don't act like they didn't see it.
They got their money. Seriously. Everybody got their money. The league got their money. The teams have their money. The players have their money. The evaluations came out yesterday from Sportico as to what your franchise is worth. Okay. And it's amazing what Ballmer did when he paid $2 billion for the Clippers, when they were probably worth a third of that. And now you look at the valuation of NBA teams, it's unbelievable. I think I saw yesterday, the average NBA franchise is worth $5 billion. Now, I don't believe it, because the average NFL franchise is worth a little over $7 billion. I mean, I don't believe they're worth $5 billion, but that's what Sportico. I mean, I believe the Cowboys were number one on the list at just under $13 billion. But I believe second was the Golden State Warriors. Of all the franchises in North America, in the four major sports, the Golden State Warriors were valued as the second most valuable franchise, okay, in sports.
And you're probably right. And I'm not even trying to be nostalgic. I just thought maybe some players had some pride and wanted to prove that I'm better than you. And, there was a video that I saw, and I think it was KG talking about LeBron. And I know everybody picks on LeBron, and we've stuck up for LeBron a lot on this show, probably more than most. But I want to say it was an all-star game early in LeBron's career, late in Kobe's, obviously. And there was always some moments in these games where players challenged players. And LeBron didn't guard Kobe. And Kobe wanted a piece of LeBron.
Right.
And KG just kind of said, that's the moment. And man, I could listen to podcasts with KG for days. When he talks about the game and the way he loves it and the way that they played, it's fun. It just, it makes you like sports. And at our core, at what David and I are, is that we are lovers of the game. And you're right. They got paid. Good for them.
Yeah.
I never begrudge anybody that gets paid, but it's why most of us listening, and you and I as well, prefer the college game right now to the pro game. Hey, they're all getting paid in college, but they still play hard. And I know it's only 30 games versus 82. I get it. But there are, certain moments in time, and they show the clip and he kind of walks away from Garden. And it's like, are you kidding me?
Oh, maybe you knew the outcome.
There you go. We've got our Olympic poll question up. How much of the Olympics are you watching? A lot, a little, none. I'll repost it here shortly. I don't know if David has.
No, I haven't.
That probably would have helped if I told you that I posted it.
Well, it's funny for two guys who talk for a living and talk to each other for 4 hours a day. Sometimes we don't always communicate the best. It's funny how that works. I'll get to it, I promise. Certainly during the break.
Excellent. We'll talk racing in Moulton today. Look at you.
We will.
David.
Well, I booked a Tigers guest for you, and we can go a little Pistons, a little Wings if we need to, but it was booked to talk your Detroit Tigers because they're actually one of the more interesting teams of the offseason here in the last couple of weeks. Loading up on pitching. Hey, pitching and defense, right? In baseball, defense in other sports wins championships. I mean, maybe the Tigers can win that elusive World Series with their starting rotation.
We'll see. They need a bat. They've got a
They
young
do.
bat that they're very excited about. And a little thing I didn't realize is that if you win the Rookie of the Year, your team gets another draft pick, but only if that guy's on your roster to start the season. So a lot of teams, because you'd have to help me with who the Rookies of the Year, but the NL Rookie of the Year last year made the opening day roster. Their team gets another pick. The AL Rookie of the Year, the guy from the A's, he was not on the opening day roster.
Right.
And teams have done that. Why? Because of arbitration and saving money.
Service time, right. They manipulate service time so you get them for another year. Right.
So teams now thinking, hey, maybe we keep the guy on the opening day roster because the draft pick's worth something to us. So I thought that was interesting. The Tigers got a young bat that they're fired up about. He's a shortstop. So we'll see if he makes the opening day roster. But Eli Zaret, longtime Detroit television anchor, will join us on the show, and we'll talk some racing. David gets fired up this time of year. Is it the Twin 100s or something like that? We'll talk about it next.
Stop it. The Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Hey, Southwest Florida, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. For you that haven't tried us yet, you gotta get in here and try my favorite 5 Chicago-style sandwiches. I got the Italian beef, I got the Italian sausage, the sausage and beef, the Maxwell Street Polish, and our soon-to-be famous breaded steak. Call us at either one of our locations in Bonita Springs and Fort Myers. And guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
This
sound.
is Miller and Moulton.
So we have a hockey game going on right now. I don't know who's playing it because my app is terrible. Yeah. You know, Jay Gunn, it's funny. I haven't thought about personal golf at all because not only will I not be playing for several months, I found out last week I can't play when I get out of here, even when I go home for at least another 3 months. They don't. It's one of the things I can't do. I'm guessing the pesticides. I don't. I don't know the reasons why, but.
That's interesting.
I mean, because I had to go through this little class, and it's like no hunting, no fishing. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Dead animals, no golfing. I'm like, what the?
Yes, Johnny Mac. He'll find out where he is in the field after the Twin 150s tonight.
Cletus McFarland. This is the interview from last year, David.
That's fantastic.
Wanted it to come to a close. What's your experience like as a whole?
Well, I was having the best day of my life. Ripping around Daytona like a bald eagle. Flat out. Avoided wreck, which was awesome. I thought I was the best driver to ever exist in that moment. And it's probably because my sleeves were cut off that I was able to pull off that maneuver coming down pit road. Then someone slammed into my rear left quarter, spun me out, lived through that, got some fresh tires, went back out there. I'm hot dogging into 1 and 2, and the car lost it in front of me. I saw it, didn't have enough brakes to get slowed down before it, and tried to go around it, misread it, zigged instead of zagged when I should have zagged.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour. Adam Stern will join us 1 hour from now. We'll talk a little Daytona 500. The front row got set last night. Adam Stern.
Wait a minute. Last night did they do that? How do they set the front row? That used to be the Twins, right?
No. They always did qualifying, which set the front row. Then they would do the twin one. It was 125s. Now it's 150s to set the field. And oftentimes there were a few spots open, and the result in the twin 150s determined like the final cars in the field. The way they did it now, they also determined there were 2 spots left open, and that got determined yesterday in qualifying also. So 4 cars made the field yesterday, the front row, and then 2 guys to fill out the field.
All right.
You set? You good?
I'm ready.
Okay. Twin 150s tonight. The race is middle of the afternoon Sunday. Okay. By the way, I don't sense a lot of sincerity with the can't wait.
I actually like the twin 150s better than the race. It doesn't last so damn long.
I was going to say 60 laps instead of 200.
Yes.
Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is the Starting Five.
And you know what? Just for the heck of it, we'll begin with NASCAR. Kyle Busch capturing the pole for the Great American Race. Kyle Busch is on the all-time list of best drivers to never win the 500. I mean, he joins Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, Rusty Wallace, and then a couple of current guys, Kyle Larson, Brad Keselowski, haven't won it either. But Kyle Busch is on the top 5 list of guys who have never won the 500. And this will be his 21st 500. No one's ever won Daytona after being in it 20 plus times. When Earnhardt won it, it was his 20th race. So Kyle Busch and Chase Briscoe are the front row for the 500 Sunday afternoon. Corey Heim and Justin Allgaier, they fill out the field. Kyle Larson, oh, by the way, signed a 5-year contract extension with Hendrick. I'll bet they had to pay him a lot of money, and Michael Jordan just made him a lot more, too. The Olympics, big day for the United States yesterday. Won 5 medals, 2 gold, 3 silver. Gold in freestyle skiing. Elizabeth Lemley won in moguls. Jordan Stoltz won a gold in the 1,000-meter speed skating. Congratulations. We also captured a silver in the women's moguls, a silver in ice dancing, and a silver in the men's Super G. Ryan Cochran-Siegel, congratulations. Men's hockey, U.S. and Latvia, 3 o'clock today.
That Stoltz is trying to get 4 gold medals in speed skating. He's a big U.S. story. If you're into the U.S. Olympians, he's probably the guy with the most pressure on him.
I think it might be Schifrin, but okay. He's already 0 for 1. She went 0 for 6 in 2022. But, yeah. NBA. By the way, tonight's the last night before the All-Star break. They'll be off a week. All-Star games at the Intuit Dome, which is home of the Clippers. It's a neat arena if you haven't seen it. It is. Anyway, last night, 14 games, almost the entire league in action. Heat won in New Orleans by 12. Right now at the break, they're the 8th seed, 2 games over 500. Man, this Orlando Magic team, you just get the sense it ain't going to happen. You know, they put a few wins together. They got Milwaukee at home last night with no Giannis. How do you lose that game? They lost by 8. Orlando's still the 7th seed behind Philly. And my goodness, the Knicks Sixers right now is a first-round playoff series. For as much as the Knicks can't beat Detroit, man, do they own the Sixers this year. They won by 49 in Philly last night. Wow. Give it up to the Pacers. They just went to New York City back-to-back nights. They beat the Knicks and the Nets. They beat Brooklyn last night by 5. Your Pistons, Mark, the number 1 seed by a big margin. Best record in the East, second best record in the league, 40-13. That's better than 750 basketball.
This just in, Cade Cunningham, pretty good.
Also, this just in, that's a 60-plus win pace. Pistons won in Toronto by 18. The Bulls have dropped all the way out of the playoffs and the play-in. They're a game and a half behind the 10 seed. Celtics, meanwhile, are the 2 seed right now. They won at home by 19. The Charlotte Hornets have moved up to the 9 seed. This has come out of nowhere in a month. They beat Atlanta last night, 110-107. The Hawks are technically the 10. The Cavs right now are the 4 seed heading into the break. They beat the Wizards by 25. The Clippers are within 2 games of 500. They went to Houston and beat the Rockets 105-102. Houston's the 4 seed out west. OKC, best record in the league. Defending champs, number 1 seed in the West. They went to Phoenix and beat the Suns by 27. Phoenix, by the way, is the 7 seed, a game behind the Lakers, who are the 6. T-Wolves are the 5. They beat Portland last night by 24. The Blazers are the 10 seed by a healthy margin also. Nuggets are the 3 seed. They beat Memphis at home by 6. The Spurs are the 2 seed. Boy, that happened quickly, didn't it? The Spurs are the 2 seed. They win at Golden State, beat the Warriors 126-113. No Steph until after the All-Star break with his knee injury. And the Sacramento Kings are the worst team in the league. They're 12-44. Yikes. They lost at Utah by 28. There were a lot of teams that mailed in games last night, didn't they?
There are a lot of teams that are mailing in games every night right now. I mean, the tanking is on for one of these top 3 picks already. It isn't the All-Star break yet.
College hoops. The Gators are rolling. Last year, when they won the Natty, they went to Georgia and got beat. This year, they went to Georgia, won by 20, 86-66. Michigan was down 9 at the half. Wolverines stormed back, beat Northwestern at Northwestern, 87-75. It was a system win, however. Northwestern was getting 14. UConn beat Butler in Indianapolis, 80-70. System win, though. Butler was getting 12 and change. System went 2-1 last night. Lost on the Gators, won on Northwestern and Butler. La Tech went to Clemson, beat the Tigers. It's a good win for them, 76-66. Clemson ranked 20th in the country. And Texas Tech, they beat Colorado by 34 last night in Lubbock. Wow. A couple other college hoop scores. Big night in the A-Sun. About 3 weeks left till the A-Sun tournament. They're battling for seeding. Jacksonville lost at Stetson 67-62. They're tied with their arch rivals, North Florida, for the 10 seed. North Florida lost at FGCU. Eagles snap a skid with the 90-81 win. FGCU, that was the beginning of a 4-game homestand for the Eagles. They can get back to 500 in conference play if they sweep the homestand. And they should be favored in at least 3 of the games. Let's see what happens. South Florida went to Wichita State, beat the Shockers 66-58. The Bulls are in first place in the American. Remember when FAU went to the Final Four not that long ago? Yeah, they're in 6th in the American. They lost at Rice, 81-73. And North Alabama, who played for the A-Sun title last year, they're in dead last, 12th. They lost at home to West Georgia, 82-73. Baseball. Chris Bassett was a good pitcher for the Blue Jays the last few years. Turns 37 next week. Baltimore Orioles said, we still need starting pitching. So they gave him $18.5 million for this year. This is remarkable. The Orioles, Jackson Holliday, the Mets, Francisco Lindor, and the Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll, all have broken hamate bones in their hand. For Holliday and Carroll, it's in their right hand. For Lindor, it's in his left. They all are having surgery. They're all going to miss opening day, likely not back until sometime in April. Something to remember with these injuries, if you're playing fantasy baseball, guys come back, but oftentimes the first year back, they don't have nearly the power that they've had in the past. Just throwing that out there. Man, the sad saga that is Chris Bryant. He's getting paid, but man, his career's ending like Anthony Rendon. He signed with the Rockies 4 years ago. He's played 170 games. Played 11 last year. Yeah, his back not cooperating. He's already on the 60-day IL. He's 34 years old. Remember when he was a star? The first few years with the Cubs, he was a star. And now, golf, PGA Tour, they're in Pebble. It's a signature event, so the purse is $20 million. Field is terrific. Rory's the defending champ. LIV's in Australia. They draw huge crowds, like 40,000 a day for this event. Joaquin Neiman, the defending champ. And one football note, Brian Callahan last year at this time was the head coach of the Titans. He's going to have to settle for being quarterback coach of the Giants. I will say, Mark, It looks good on paper. John Harbaugh's offensive staff is Matt Nagy, Brian Callahan, and Greg Roman. But at the same time, you wonder, a lot of chefs in the kitchen. One guy's in charge of the passing game. One guy's in charge of the running game. The other guy's supposed to be calling the plays. We'll see if it
I
works
was going
out.
to say it looked like a really good offensive staff in 2018.
Well, yeah, could be. Could be. Yeah, Brian Callahan's stock fell quickly, that's for sure. And at 10 minutes before the hour, that was 45. Brought to you by Lee County, Florida. Spring training's already underway, which kind of brings it all together. Building a better community through BST, business, sports, and tourism. We got
And
a
we
lot.
advise you to take in a spring training game this year,
Yes.
wherever you are in the state of Florida, because, well, there's not going to be spring training in Florida next year. If there is spring training at all, we think it'll be some short, get ready quick in the cities that teams play it.
Yeah. I don't know if there'll be games. There'll be more like workouts and inter-squad activity. But so attend a spring training game near you, because you won't have the chance for 2 years. 2028 at the earliest. You know, there's a lot of meat on the sports bone that we haven't even gotten to yet.
Ooh, really?
Yes. Yes. Something happened yesterday, which doesn't happen very often. Ex-teammates trashing ex-teammates.
And not just that, other ex-teammates basically saying things like amen. In fact, saying that exact word on X in response. Because it's one thing for an ex-teammate to trash a teammate. It's quite another when multiple teammates then support the ex-teammate's trashing of a teammate.
So that's some of what's out there. I'll tell you how much your team is worth. Adam Stern to talk NASCAR. Eli Zaret to talk the Tigers. Good little show lined up for you on this Thursday.
We've already got a poll question for you. How much of the Olympics are you watching right now? There's not a lot of you watching a lot of it. Less than 10% of you saying a lot.
Ooh.
About 44% of you saying a little. And the majority of you, none.
Whew. Now, I know we're not the target audience. It's our significant others, but you would think we'd be stuck on the couch and we'd be watching it too. That's what usually happens.
Well, I don't know how much people like to watch tape delayed events, even though they might be at work all day. I get it. But these things are over by the time most of us are sitting down in front of the television. And as we open the show today, this college hoop season's been pretty good. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
At the Diamond District, we've built our inventory since day one.
We never pass on beautiful jewelry. For years, we've chosen exceptional diamonds and fine jewelry.
And when you buy with love for 2 decades,
your vault fills with extraordinary jewelry. That's why we're emptying the vault now through Valentine's Day. Enjoy rare pricing on jewelry chosen to celebrate love, connection, and commitment.
Will You Be Mine starts with diamonds from the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh yeah.
American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs and has been for 30 years. American Paint Supplies is also your #1 Festool dealer in Southwest Florida. If you are a builder, cabinet maker, painter, or power tool enthusiast, Festool craftsmanship can be found at American Paint Supplies. Celebrating 30 years of service, and Festool is celebrating 100 years of excellence. Come to American Paint Supply for a perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street, Naples, off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
David, you look very ready for the day coming back from that break. Hair coiffed.
Well, I
Nice
didn't touch my
t-shirt.
hair. Didn't touch my hair during the break. Same T-shirt. It's a nice color, though.
It's just a good collar.
Gotcha.
And living 305, nothing's up. Just hanging here.
At Moffitt Cancer Center.
Hanging at Moffitt.
Right.
I will say sometime this hour, I may start getting some beeping because I've got so much crap attached to me right now.
Okay.
If that happens and it's annoying, just let me know and I'll have to bow out for a little bit until I can get a nurse in here to do her damn job. The nurse that's working, she's done. I mean, her shift's over. She's due in 3 weeks.
So she's large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's opening day, David?
I think it's March 22nd. Let me look it up.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton. Thanks for being with us. Top of the morning to you. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Adam Stern in about 35 minutes. We'll talk a little Daytona. Eli Zaret next hour, as we'll try to just pop in and talk as many of the Major League Baseball teams as we can before the season starts. Wednesday, March 25th, with the Giants and Yankees, I think on like Amazon or Netflix or something. And then the full opening day is the next day, Thursday, the 26th. But there you have it. Last week of March, season gets underway in full.
You know, someone on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line asked when's opening day. And I asked David because I simply thought that it would be an instantaneous answer. And to me, if David Moulton doesn't automatically know when opening day is, baseball's got a problem.
I don't know about that.
You sure?
Yeah, no, you're right. You are. I mean,
are you sure?
I mean, we all knew when it was. It was the National Championship Monday. It was the Monday before the Masters. But you know, listen, nobody wants to give up anything in college sports, in the NFL, in the Major League Baseball. They still want to play their 162. Yet they want to cater to all net, but now they want to get the baseballs. They have more playoff games, but we can't extend into November. So we got to end the regular season earlier. So that means we got to start the regular season earlier. Well, we were starting it, very early April. So now when are we starting it? Well, we're starting it the final week of March, which means it's spring training starting before Valentine's Day everywhere, when it used to start right after it.
Yeah, that was crazy to me when you said spring training started. I'm like, what?
Yep. Spring training usually started right at, the rookies may report right before Daytona, but usually pitchers, the full roster showed up literally Daytona 500, full roster showed up in baseball. So.
All right. Before the break, we teased you a little bit. Look at us, both of us, Miller and Moulton, throwing a tease to break about a player trashing a former teammate. Well, it was about a Steeler.
I know. Oh, they broke the code. And of all the teams that have a code, it's the Steelers. I mean, you take this to your grave. If you're a Steeler, those are the unwritten rules. Joey Porter had enough. He had enough. All these podcasts, and he had listened to a few, and he had taken receipts. And it was Super Bowl week, and people were doing interviews, and Joey Porter Sr. had had enough. And the subject was Ben Roethlisberger. And Porter said he definitely broke the brotherhood. Harrison broke the brotherhood, but 7 definitely broke the brotherhood. And out of anybody that should talk, he should never grab a microphone and really talk Steeler business. Because if we talk Steelers business, quote, his ass is foul of all foul. That blank that he did is foul of all foul. He's not a good teammate. And he's not a good person. Anybody in the Steelers building knows it. We protected him because I've only won 1 Super Bowl, and he was my quarterback. So do I love my quarterback? Yeah. But is he a good person? No. Okay. Game on. You know what it got me thinking? Ben's going in the Hall of Fame next year.
Yep.
And there have been Steelers that have gone into the Hall of Fame, and there have been literally busloads of teammates and Steelers employees who will make the trek to go to the induction.
Right.
And it got me thinking, who's going to show up for Ben?
And look it, David, you've been to Pittsburgh a couple of times. It was the last venue that you made it to, but you've been there a couple of times since, and there are still a lot of 7s because no crowd has more jerseys on than a Steeler crowd.
I'm surprised they let me in with my media credential. When you go to a Steelers game, it literally looks like maybe you can get away with just having a terrible towel, but it really does look like your admission ticket is if you wear a jersey.
For the record, I use my terrible towel as a napkin, and it pisses my wife off to no ends.
I will say, best jersey I've seen, and I've gone to 3 Steelers games in the last few years. But when somebody had a Frenchie Fuqua jersey, I literally ran up to the guy. I'm like, this is outstanding.
But
look it up, by the way, Frenchie Fuqua, who he was and when he played. It's a great jersey to have.
It's it's interesting to me, David, because my brother-in-law lost his love of the Steelers. And I think he's gotten some back because Ben's gone. He hated Ben. I mean, he knew he wasn't a good person. He didn't like him. And as a guy with a couple of daughters, he had no respect for the guy. Most Steeler fans, I don't want to say tolerated him because that was their guy and they were winning. And fans just want to win.
Right.
But this isn't about the fans. This is more than just about Joey Porter and Ben Roethlisberger. It's other players basically saying preach. And several players jumped online, went to their ex accounts, and either reposted or applauded what he said. We protected him.
Yep.
And this all started because Ben opened his mouth and trashed Tomlin. Now he tried to walk it back. But once Ben did that, that opened the floodgates.
Porter went on to say he was only with Roethlisberger 3 years, but Porter got voted a captain. It was the first 3 years, I think, of Roethlisberger's career. And it's fairly common in a locker room that if other players come up to you and want you to sign memorabilia, they're usually doing it for friends and family. But even if they're doing it for themselves, you sign it. Your teammates. It's a signature for your teammate. Yeah, sure, of course, buddy, I'll do it. Yeah, thanks. Roethlisberger wouldn't sign anything early in his career. And Porter's like, we had to have team meetings because of this. I mean, this guys were bent about this. And he said, that's where it started. Never mind all the other stuff that's out there. But here's the other thing. Harrison and Roethlisberger both soured on Tomlin and went public about it. And Mark, you know, okay, Joey Porter and a lot of others were like, yeah, you don't do that. You don't ever do that. Okay.
No, not there. Other places you might be able to get away with it. But that's still very collegiate in how, and I guess even, high school and how that team is run.
Yeah. I mean,
very parochial.
Yes. Yep. Parochial, provincial, whatever you're thinking. Yes. All right. And Porter went on to say that both Harrison and Roethlisberger would divulge. They have divulged in recent years private conversations on podcasts. And I'm just curious, how many former teammates are going to go to Canton for Roethlisberger? Because it's, you play the game when you're active and you're in the same locker room together. Okay. But you got to give up a weekend of your life to go honor a former teammate if you're going to Canton. Not the easiest place to get to, by the way.
No, it's not Cooperstown, but it still ain't easy.
And, also not a ton of quality hotel rooms either nearby. So I've been there twice, Hall of Fame weekend. And I've been there with TV networks. And you should see the places where we were staying. So I can only imagine, Steeler fan from Aliquippa and maybe what they were able to get their hands on. But I'll be real curious about this next summer. Well, I guess it'll be the summer of 2027, in a year and a half, when he gets voted in. Because I do think he's a slam dunk. And I know after Belichick, but I do think that, Breeze went in first time. I think Ben goes in as well.
I agree. And I'll be interested to see how many more, because every Steeler now is going to get a microphone put in front of his face between now and training camp and ask this question.
Oh, yeah.
And how many decide to say nothing? And how many decide to say,
well,
there's some there with what Joey said.
Right. Joey opened the can of worms. Okay, then I'll throw in my 2 cents. Sure. I was going to stay quiet. But once Joey spoke up.
Miller and Moulton. This doesn't happen much in Steeler land.
No.
Same way it doesn't help. You know what else it never happened with? Old school Dolphin.
Right.
When they were the Miami Dolphins. Remember that?
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332516.
This is Miller and Moulton.
You know, it's really easy because the morning nurse and the afternoon nurse or nighttime nurse have the same name. Makes it really easy on the patient.
Wow. I also love the fact they write their name on that whiteboard on the wall.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Adam Stern to talk a little NASCAR. You know, Daytona week, speed weeks. Kyle Busch the pole last night. Chase Briscoe on the outside of row one will fill out the field with the twin 150s tonight on FS1 if you're interested. The 500 sold out Sunday. Coverage starts at 2:30. They probably won't drop the green flag till about 3:20, but what have you. Hope the weather cooperates. All right. So Sportico came out with their yearly, hey, this is how much your franchise is worth list. Few things here. Average NFL franchise, over $7 billion, which is interesting because right now, the richest sale on record was 2.5 years ago, the Commanders at just over $6 billion. Mark, in the 2.5 years since Josh Harris and company have purchased the club, according to Sportico, the value of their franchise has gone up $1.4 billion in 2.5 years.
Yeah, I look at, if someone will pay for it, it's worth that. I get it. I'm not saying that Sportico is that far off. The NFL is interesting because, one, I don't believe, they try to vet all these buyers. They don't want foreign buyers.
But they'll allow now foreign investment as a minority owner.
Correct.
Right. The whole 10%,
15% or something like that. Right. But see, with football, I get it because they're going to get another big TV deal. With basketball, I actually get it. David, I want someone to explain to me how baseball franchises are going to keep escalating when a key component of their revenue is about to disappear.
And future revenue is uncertain.
Oh, yeah. And a labor problem that they're about to endure that we don't know how the public will take that.
They have TV agreements nationally for 3 more seasons, for what it's worth. All right. Football team, average one, over $7 billion. NBA team, average one, $5.5 billion. Man, that seems high. Baseball, $2.8 billion. Think about that. Your NBA team is worth double your Major League Baseball team. That seems tough to wrap your brains around, right? But they got that TV deal locked in for this season and 10 more after it. $7 billion a year in national TV revenue. That's why your franchises are worth what they're worth. The average NHL franchise is over $2 billion. Wow, $2.1 billion, according to Sportico. All right, I think you might find this interesting. Just amongst NFL teams, these are the 10 most valuable, and I'm giving air quotes under valuable. The Cowboys, as you would expect, at just under $13 billion. Remember, Jera bought the team less than 40 years ago for about $160 million. 12.8 The Rams are second, 10.4. The Giants are third, 10.25. They did just sell off 10% of the team, and the valuation was $10 billion. And Sportico's saying, Yeah, that's about right. The Patriots are fourth, $8.75 billion, followed by the Niners fifth, Eagles sixth, Dolphins seventh at $8.25 billion. Things to keep in mind. Do you own your stadium?
And not only do they own the stadium, but the F1 race, I mean, all the revenue that comes from that.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So with the team comes the stadium and the land. The Dolphins are the seventh most valuable NFL franchise at $8.25 billion. The Jets are eighth. The Raiders are ninth, just under $8 billion. And the Washington Commanders are 10th in terms of the NFL and their valuation, according to Sportico. The second most valuable pro franchise in North America is the Golden State Warriors. I have a question. When Steph Curry retires, what is the valuation of the Golden State Warriors? I know the TV deal's locked in. I know they've got their arena and their but do we think they're going to continue to sell out unless they're really good? And when's the last time they were really good without Steph Curry? I mean, I'm wondering, is Steph Curry worth $1 billion?
Yes. Absolutely. What are they worth?
11.3 billion, more than any pro franchise except the Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I'm sorry.
Almost $1 billion more than the Rams, the second most valuable NFL franchise. By the way, Warriors, Lakers, Knicks, your top three NBA teams. This is remarkable, if true, if he could literally sell this and get this. We talked about Ballmer, and he changed the market for NBA franchises. How many years is he on the team now? Is it 10?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, he bought it for 2. It's worth 6.75. Remember, they own their own arena now. Number one hockey team is the Leafs, who come in 61st on the list of North American franchises, but the Leafs are worth $4.25 billion. Obviously, the Yankees are the number one baseball franchise, $8.4 billion, 9th on the list. Dodgers second at about $7.75 billion. Red Sox third, Cubs fourth, and then a big drop off in terms of valuation of baseball franchises. The 2 cheapest, Mark, franchises to buy of the big 4 North American sports. The 2 cheapest franchises to buy, they're tied in valuation. The Columbus Blue Jackets and the Miami Marlins cost you $1.3 billion for each.
Ooh. What would you rather own? Wouldn't you rather own the Miami Marlins? I mean, the market, the opportunity. I know it's not worked, but the Blue Jackets only can go so far.
I'm going to get a lot of grief for saying this. I know they can't for 20 years. But should the Marlins be in Orlando?
I don't think so.
Because I think they would support it a lot more.
Interesting. I just think that the ceiling for the Marlins, if I were to buy one, I'd buy the Marlins. Even with baseball's problems, I'd buy the Marlins.
All right. Sherman reportedly bought it for around 1.1 or 1.2, and it's only gone up 100 or so million since he's bought it, which probably doesn't cover his losses.
Not even close.
But for the record, though, Mark, there are 2 MLS teams that would go for more money than the Marlins and the Blue Jackets.
Is one of them in Miami?
It sure is. Okay.
I was going to ask because, a long time ago, this moron sportscaster said, I'd invest in the MLS in Miami. I think that's a big win.
It's worth $1.5 billion today.
American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow & Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow & Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow & Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
When Glass Doctor replaces your windshield, we don't just send you on your way, we send you off protected. Your local Glass Doctor includes the industry's only 12-month windshield protection plan at no extra cost. That means unlimited chip repairs and even a one-time replacement if needed. High-quality service backed by real peace of mind, right here in your neighborhood.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Exclusions apply. See your local Glass Doctor for details.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, low price. Get you one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism. Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family-owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Johnny Finger Lakes, they have a roof? I don't know what.
Who was it? Because I walked away in the chat room who said that Pablo Torres has been quiet about Ballmer and the Kawhi and the Clippers. He actually had a big report like yesterday.
Funny you say that. I was going to bring that up.
In which it was another revenue source for Kawhi uncovered, in which he's got an executive going, essentially, how much money are we giving this guy?
And he gets into the fact that you really think that Ballmer cared about a salary cap when he was trying to manipulate things in the real world?
Right.
Monopolistic practices and trying to get past the government on that. I mean, saw that as well. Way to go, JDR. If you're married, your wife must be so happy. Whoops, what did I do? Dun, dun, dun. Fair enough, JDR.
Yeah, I will say he's a business guy. All right. I don't know how much racing will try to, but man, his Twitter feed is all business news. He does write for Sports Business Journal. After all, he also covers UFC.
Oh, you were the one that took it down.
Yeah, I took it down because he's supposed to be joining us.
Yeah. You're right. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, couldn't have been worse.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Eli Zaret, legendary Detroit sportscaster, to join us 1 hour from now. A lot going on in Motown. Pistons' best record in the East. Red Wings, a serious playoff contender. But how about the Tigers and the money they've spent on pitching in the last 3 weeks?
Not all by their own accord.
Well, no, there's about $13 million they weren't planning on spending, but the rest they did willfully. So Eli Zaret to join us about 1 hour from now.
Talk about a team that's got to get off to a hot start, though, because the pressure then will be on them if they don't. What do you do with Skubal? If you're not leading the division mid-June, what do you do?
Oh, man. I think if you're in position to make the playoffs, you got to keep them.
I agree. I agree. But if they trip up, if there's an injury,
I mean, no doubt.
There's a lot of pressure on that franchise. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. And that franchise scored runs last year, and we kind of wondered, how are they scoring runs? Have you looked at the lineup? They got a huge season from Baez. Can they, really count on that again when he was a train wreck for 2 years leading up to it? So curious what's going to go on in Motown. It's why we booked Eli Zaret, and he will join us 1 hour from now. Adam Stern is kind enough to join us at this time. He covers racing and fighting for Sports Business Journal. Sports Business Journal. Follow Adam on X at _S12. _S12. Adam, it's David and Mark. Thanks for your time. How are you?
Doing great. Good morning.
So, have you noticed anything being different now that the lawsuit got settled? Like, is there more money flowing into the sport? People on the fence deciding, no, I'm in. Is it different in the last 100 days?
Yes and no. I mean, there's no more extra money necessarily flowing into the sport. The teams have kind of gotten a better deal now. They've gotten a better system. But the money that's in the sport is basically the same. In fact, the teams themselves didn't actually get more money overall. The two teams that sued NASCAR got damages, but in terms of like annual recurring revenue that NASCAR said we're going to pay you more, that didn't really happen for all the teams. What happened is they gave the teams their permanent charter. So basically they turned their franchises into being permanent instead of something that they had to continually negotiate. But that has basically made their charters double in value roughly overnight. So the charters were going from like 45 to 50 million. Now you can't get one for cheaper than closer to 100 million. So that's on paper, and you can't get that money unless you sell your team. But that is increased value for sure. There's not necessarily more league revenue going to the teams in terms of, hey, more from the TV deal or anything like that. But certainly it's a better overall team model now for teams going forward. So I think that's a big deal. The NASCAR obviously made some major changes with their leadership. They jettisoned their commissioner, Steve Phelps. So there's been some big changes from that regard. I think there's just an overall kind of breath of fresh air now for the sport. They've had so many big negotiations and projects in recent years, handling COVID, debuting a new car, negotiating a new TV deal, negotiating a new labor rights deal with their teams. So it's just kind of a breath of fresh air for the sport. They now have this long runway till 2031 where they really have no major negotiations till then, and they can just try and focus on growing the sport. So that's really what's changed.
All right. We were just talking about the Sportico franchise valuations and how, the sport, the sport business is big right now. With the lawsuit being settled, with, like you just said, the charters becoming permanent and basically the owners of these charters doubling their worth overnight. Does this mean new ownership in NASCAR? Does this mean more money in NASCAR that should be coming in the foreseeable future? And if so, how good is that at the end of the day for the fan?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think it allows for a greater chance for making people want to invest in NASCAR because it's a more predictable system. It's more of a system that now closely resembles stick and ball sports. So it's going to lead to people who are stick and ball investors, private equity groups, other wealthy people to be more likely to predict in NASCAR because it's a system that they can now more easily understand versus in the past, they were like, what the heck is this? This is not really a permanent system like we see in baseball or hockey or football, so we don't know as much about it. We don't understand it. Now they can understand it more. It's more closely aligned with what they do elsewhere in sports, and so that should lead to more investment in the sport. And so I think the reason that can be a good thing for the fans is just because you're going to have more professional teams. They're not going to be as likely to go out of business. There was something that came up in the trial, one of the situations that happened in NASCAR in the last 10 years where there was a team, Furniture Row Racing, that won the NASCAR Cup Series championship, the highest championship you can win in the sport, and then immediately exited the sport because they were in dire financial straits, the champion of the sport. So this is going to lead to less of a chance of something like that happening, and that's why it's good for the fan. It's just there's going to be more stability for the sport. Teams are going to be more willing to try and invest. It seems like NASCAR and the teams are kind of in a little bit of a kumbaya honeymoon stage right now after the lawsuit. So it seems like everyone's kind of recommitting towards working together again. And you got to have everyone rowing in the same direction. When you have people in the sport who are major stakeholders with different agendas, they're not working to grow the sport together. So the hope now is that everyone's going to be on the same page, and that can lead to good results overall, including, of course, for the fan ultimately.
Adam Stern, he covers all of motorsports, and he covers fighting for Sports Business Journal. Follow Adam on X, A_S12, A_S12. We all know Michael Jordan's legacy in basketball. Is Michael Jordan now going to go down as one of the historic figures in NASCAR because of what just transpired?
I think in many respects, yes, because it has kind of led to this new era where, in some ways this was kind of the first time in 70 years that the France family had really lost a battle like this, whether in court or out of court, in a way where the teams kind of got a lot of serious power that can make a big impact. And so, I think there's now a lot of talk about could the France family possibly sell a stake, not necessarily sell the whole thing, but could they sell maybe a minority stake to a major entertainment behemoth that can come in and own a stake of NASCAR and really help drive it forward. That's what we're seeing with IndyCar right now, where Fox now owns a third of the series. Of course, we've seen the same over the last decade with F1, where Liberty Media now owns it. So I think in a lot of respects, it's kind of, what Michael Jordan has done is helped herald this new era for NASCAR, where for years, ever since basically 2021, so in this entire pandemic era, NASCAR and the teams have been fighting. They finally now have that behind them, and they've done that in a way where now the teams feel like they're in a much better place in the sport. So I think in many respects, absolutely. Again, it's not like every team is now getting twice as much money just in terms of hard cash. Yes, their values have doubled, but that's kind of, again, that's something you can only get if you sell the team. In terms of their actual league revenue, yeah, there's still a lot of work to do. The sport still needs to try and be more popular. They're facing a ton of competition in motorsports from F1, from IndyCar, of course, just lots of entertainment rivals overall. So there's still a lot of work to do for the sport. Not everything is solved, but I think for sure that this is something that is helping the sport overall, something that the teams feel is going to be important for them. And if that can get them in NASCAR and everyone working together again to help grow the sport, I think that's going to be a huge part of Michael Jordan's legacy in NASCAR.
F1 didn't need Cadillac. Did Cadillac need F1? How big is this for General Motors, for Cadillac, and in jumping into something that they've not been a part of?
Yeah, I mean, F1 doesn't really need anybody, but they'll certainly take General Motors. General Motors has never been in the sport like this before. F1 still wants to keep growing in the U.S. Their ratings have plateaued here just a little bit in recent years, and so they're looking for any levers or catalysts for growth that they can get. So for F1, it is nice to have General Motors in the sport for the first time. Same with Ford returning for the first time in 22 years. So you have two of these three big Detroit automakers that are getting back into the sport, along with Audi from Germany. So I think for F1, it's certainly a nice result. And then for Cadillac and GM, they're trying to restore that brand. In 1980, Cadillac had a third of the market share in the U.S. for luxury vehicles. That number is now in the single digits. So they're trying to really revive the Cadillac brand. We know the Cadillac Escalade still does very well for executive travel. But outside of that, the brand has kind of decayed just a little bit in recent decades. So they're trying to bring it back to prominence. And one of the best ways to do that is to show that you can perform in racing. And there's no bigger racing stage than Formula One. So they're hoping that it's going to restore the credibility of the brand in the U.S. and help it grow globally.
Is the Fox involvement working for IndyCar? Okay. It's great, by the way, having just one network and where the races are. That's awesome. Okay, NASCAR fans certainly are complaining about where's the race, what time, what network. But this big push by Fox in the last couple of years, is it working?
Yeah, I think the ratings growth the first year was maybe perhaps a little bit more modest than they would have hoped for. But I think overall, this has been a huge development for IndyCar, because the thing that they were missing for years was really having entertainment prowess. They were obviously, they have the Indy 500. They have a lot of history. It's a great series in many respects. But, Roger Penske, while he's a legend, he's not necessarily Fox. He's not necessarily the owner of an entertainment network. Or when you look at Liberty Media, this entertainment giant. And so what Fox has done has come in and added just that little bit more skill in the entertainment arena. And that's a huge deal for IndyCar. That's exactly what they needed when they're going up against Liberty Media. Fox and IndyCar were just able to negotiate this deal to race down the National Mall in Washington, D.C. later this summer. And that's something that NASCAR, IndyCar would have loved to have that opportunity. So I think Fox is definitely doing a good job. I think it's exactly what IndyCar needed. And again, just when NASCAR says, we're getting a lot of competition from Formula One, and now Formula One goes behind a paywall for their TV deal with Apple, so maybe NASCAR's thinking they have a little bit of relief. Here comes IndyCar, and they're now kind of refreshed. And so I think it's definitely been a positive development for IndyCar to have a major network come in, invest in them, and kind of treat IndyCar like it's America's version of Formula One. We know how popular Formula One right now is in the cultural zeitgeist in America, and now Fox is trying to do that same thing with IndyCar. So in some ways, it's exactly what they needed. It helped save Honda. Honda was one of their two manufacturers, and it looked like they were going to leave. Now, just today, they're going to announce that they're staying. So I think it's been very positive for IndyCar so far, but they'll still want to see more ratings growth in the future.
Adam, hopefully we can catch up down the road when we've had a few more months of the Paramount CBS deal and we can see how that's working compared to the deal they had the last few years. We really appreciate you making time for us. Safe travels.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Adam Stern, Sports Business Journal, covers racing and fighting for SBJ. You can follow Adam on X at _S12, _S12.
There we go.
Yeah.
We covered all the ends of racing right there.
Yep.
From the business side.
Yep. I mean, not much has changed in terms of, drivers and teams and what have you.
Besides, if it was about drivers, David, what the hell are they going to tell us about Daytona? Let's see who avoids the wreck will win the race.
Right. I think, by the way, last night is best case scenario for NASCAR. I really do. Okay. Who's the best driver in the field who's never won the race? Kyle Busch. Who's on the pole for the first time? Kyle Busch. I think it's awesome for NASCAR. I really do. I mean, because now you think, well, damn, he can win this thing. He's got speed, and goodness knows he can drive. All right. So,
is anybody rooting for him?
Well, it's funny. You know how it gets, though. You start to get older.
Right. They turn.
He was driving your daughter's favorite car with Skittles. That made him seem younger. Now his brother's retired. He's what, 40? 41? Which is damn near ancient in that sport now. Okay, so, I'm in. I'll be rooting for him to win it. Absolutely. I wanted Mark Martin desperately to win it before he retired. And Rusty was my guy. He never won it. Yeah, I'm rooting for him. Let's go.
I've got nothing for you. All I was going to do is say something sarcastic and lousy.
It's fine.
I was going to say I'm picking Lightning McQueen.
That's fine. That's fine. How about this?
The only thing I will say is that my son, who was all into NASCAR 5-6 years ago, doesn't care anymore. That to me is a big problem.
It is.
If you lost someone at 26 who loved your sport just a few years ago.
And he was raised in the South, and he went to college in the South, and he lives in the South in Greenville, North Carolina. I mean, he is, exactly who NASCAR grabs, and they grabbed him and lost him. That's a bad sign. Quickly, last 50 laps, will you watch?
Probably not.
Okay, good. Miller.
There's a golf tournament on, right?
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Hey, Southwest Florida, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. For you that haven't tried us yet, you gotta get in here and try my favorite 5 Chicago-style sandwiches. I got the Italian beef, I got the Italian sausage, the sausage and beef, the Maxwell Street Polish, and our soon-to-be famous breaded steak. Call us at either one of our locations in Bonita Springs and Fort Myers. And guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, Call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. American Paint Supplies, celebrating 30 years in Naples, is proud to be the exclusive Farrow and Ball dealer in Southwest Florida. The best thing to come from the UK since the Beatles, Farrow and Ball has the colors and paints at American Paint Supplies. See why all the designers and painters choose Farrow and Ball. For 30 years, American Paint Supplies provides the perfect pairing of service and expertise on 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net. American Paint Supplies is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs.
At the Diamond District, we've built our inventory since day one.
We never pass on beautiful jewelry. For years, we've chosen exceptional diamonds and fine jewelry.
And when you buy with love for 2 decades,
your vault fills with extraordinary jewelry. That's why we're emptying the vault now through Valentine's Day. Enjoy rare pricing on jewelry chosen to celebrate love, connection, and commitment.
Will you be mine? Starts with diamonds from the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Sorry about the migraine, Joe. Yeah, Adam, I know. It is supposed to rain, and not only that, it's supposed to rain Monday.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home on this Thursday, at least in Jacksonville, Tampa, St. Pete, Fort Myers, Naples. Final hour of the show, live Oak Lake City, surrounding areas, Port Charlotte, Venice, and surrounding areas. Thanks for being with us, Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton. On X, we just talked a little NASCAR, and it should be pointed out, 60% chance of rain Sunday, 80% chance of rain Monday in Daytona Beach. So could NASCAR have bad luck once again with the rain? They seemingly have it with Daytona more often than not here lately. Big Olympic day, men's hockey, although it got underway yesterday, but the U.S. in action at 3 o'clock today against Latvia. Right now, Mark, the Swiss with a 2-0 lead after 2 against France. We know how much you hate France.
Not a fan.
No, you're not.
They helped us once. We've been bailing them out for 230 years.
Yeah, we really needed them though in 1777. I mean, I understand, why it is we had their back twice. It was a 2-for-1, but we're not without them in 1777.
It's a dadgum good point.
So, Canada, by the way, in action in 2.5 hours, and they don't have an easy opener. They got Czechia. So Canada, Czechia at around 10:30, 3 o'clock, U.S. and Latvia. If you're in to the NHLers playing the Olympics for the first time in 12 years, think about it. Steven Stamkos never got to play in the Olympics. Steven Stamkos. 12 years, long time. That's a career, even a legendary career. And he was just, he was on the rise. The Lightning went to the finals in 2015, about a year and a half after the 14 Olympics. And then, we didn't send our guys when he would have been on the 18 team and the 22 team. And now he's not on the team. That sucks.
It does. It does. The whole this is fascinating because this, I hope, will be a great tournament. But the way they've set these groups up and the way this tournament is organized, there's a chance the U.S. doesn't even play Canada.
Sure.
The U.S. group is laughable. The Canada group is laughable. Czechia is not going to. Come on. Stop it. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's without a Russian team, you've got Sweden, you've got Finland, who was upset yesterday by the Czech team, right? Or by Slovakia. That was a
stunner.
That was a major upset. But the way they've set this tournament up is in hopes that they get a U.S.-Canada final. But there are no guarantees of that.
Right.
There are a lot of people that are upset with the handling of the tournament, if you will, and the possibilities of not getting some of the best matchups, just ensuring these silly groups that we have. But it's hockey. I'm in. I'll watch. I'm excited. Don't like the U.S. captain.
Yeah.
It's funny. They named Austin Matthews the captain of the U.S. team. And Matthew Tkachuk does every interview. Interview.
Matthews has stopped talking a lot in Toronto, too. He's cut down on his media availability a lot this year, for what it's worth. But, yeah, you're so right. You're so right.
We know whose team it is.
Right.
And I guess that's a good thing, though. I will honestly say the fact that Kachuk can come out and say, I read some comments he was talking about that they basically, met on the flight over, and they all know each other, obviously, but they met up on the flight over, and they picked up right where they left off, and everybody gets along. And he did bring up one thing I thought that was kind of interesting. Not a lot of the players brought anybody with them. It's them. They're all hanging together. These are the little things that I hope will lead to a gold medal. They're not the best roster. Canada has the best roster. Doesn't mean U.S. can't win gold, but Canada has the best roster.
They do. They do. But, if it comes down to a one-game tournament,
right?
Goodness knows our roster's pretty damn good.
It is.
I'm just throwing this out there. It's tough to compare sports. I made this suggestion last year, and I think you mocked me. Could be wrong, but I thought you did.
You're probably right.
But I suggested that that's exactly how the U.S. Ryder Cup team should do it. And I definitely said, when we go on the road, okay, no wives, no girlfriends. Nope. Sorry. Okay. And now I will say, Europe goes on and on about how amazing Luke Donald is and working the wives and the girlfriends in and, the trainers, and that we are just such a team. Okay. Listen, fine. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit you where you live. I'm going to go Rocky 4. Okay. All right. It was Rocky. It was his trainer. Okay. It was Paulie. And at the last minute, the wife showed up. That's it. Okay. Seriously. Ryder Cup in a year and a half. Okay. Exactly. Okay.
It was a theme throughout the Rocky. I mean, if you're going to really go there, you're right. Women weaken legs. Mickey said it. If Mickey said it, he's right. How could I dispute anything he said? One of the great sports minds of the 20th century.
And you know what? It's a week and a half without your wife. First
Who
off,
wouldn't want that?
I was going to say 90% of husbands would sign up for that. Okay. Secondly, you've been with her every moment for 103 of the last 104 weeks. A week and a half, just the boys. You ready? Let's go.
And remember, they have a laundry service.
Right. Right.
That is one of the worst things I've ever said. I couldn't help it, though. I'm sorry, Paula. Paula, I'm sorry. I don't know how many other women are out there listening. You can text me foul things at 21,000. I'll take it.
All right. We'll do the cooking for you. We'll do the cleaning for you. It's a 5-star hotel. You'll each have your own room. Enough already. We're here to play golf, and we're here to finally play golf well.
We'll see. Hey, David, at this point, there is not anything you put into the suggestion box that you read and go, well, that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because doing it the same way we've been doing it has just produced loss after loss after loss.
1993, the last time we have a road win. You're challenging the way I want to do things? Seriously. What, are you not going to come? You're not going to represent your country? Why? Because your wife can't be here for a week and a half? Does she come with you to every tournament on the road? Stop it. Enough already. I got no problem. And this Olympic thing, this is a 2+ week thing, just the boys. Come on now. It's over in Europe, too. Where are we going to go for the Ryder? Over in Europe. Suck it up, boys. Private travel, 5-star hotel. Room service 24/7. World-class chefs. Please. How much more damn support do you need? Get on the damn range. And no, better yet, go to the putting green. Make some damn putts. The other guys seemingly do.
I will say, now that you bring that up, the Olympics have brought on, what was it, the guy who won the bronze medal and in the interview admitted on cheating on his girlfriend?
Oh, I know. Oh, my goodness. Dude, get it together.
And then I want to say there was another Olympian. I'm trying to find her name. Yeah, Sophia Kirby. She basically is looking for a Valentine's date. She's an American loser. And by the way, there's none of us that would say no to a date with her. She's cute.
Also, my understanding is the men's hockey team staying in the village. No private hotel or anything like that. They're staying in the Olympic housing. They're in there with everybody else. I love it. I love that stuff.
And the other one, the Sophia Kirby thing cracks me up because she has said not only will she date other Olympians, but if that doesn't work out, if there are fans there, I'll date you also.
Right. And usually athletes don't have a hard time hooking up at the Olympics. That's what legend says.
Hockey players are going to have a little too much fun.
Oh, well, there's no doubt about that, especially since they know they have cut such an easy draw. Oh, well.
I want to report on that. Those were the good old days.
All right, boys. You can have the ladies in the room the first week. Second week, we got to get serious, okay? I just said that out loud.
You did.
Yep.
And that sounds about right.
I was going to say, not that it's ever happened before.
But you heard some of going back to the 80 team with some of the outtakes of the documentary coming out, that a lot of them early on in the Olympic time, no one was interested in the hockey players, particularly the American hockey players. And one of them tells a story when Air Force One chose to take him to the White House with other people who had won gold medal, and two beautiful women sat down next to him. Things are looking up, boys. Things are looking up. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at American Paint Supplies.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big. Mega Pass, your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited one-way rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Mm. Hmm.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Eli Zaret, legendary Detroit sportscaster, going to join us coming up in about 15 minutes' time. Talk Tigers. We'll see if we get to the Pistons and the Wings, but I'm fascinated, Mark, by your Tigers. I didn't just book this for you. I booked it for me too. I love this. And I want them to, yeah, I know. You could trade them at the deadline. No, go for the damn World Series. And if you could get in as a 6 seed. Think about it. 6 seed, 3-game series. Scooble, okay, the guy they just got from Houston, and Who knows who else they could put out there game 3? Seriously? Framber Valdez? I mean, Scooble Valdez and your number 3 starter? Who in the world is going to have a better pitching rotation in a best of 3 or a best of 5 than Detroit?
Yeah, providing they leave him in long enough.
Well,
sorry.
There's no appeal. There's no appeasing Scott Boras now. Okay, so yeah, he goes out for the 7th inning in the deciding game of the series this year.
Thank you.
Doesn't matter if his pitch count's right around 100. You go back out there, you empty this flippin' tank.
So got a text earlier in the show, and it didn't mean that much to me because I actually didn't think the court was that bad. It was a Gators fan, maybe not even a Gators fan, that just hated the Georgia court last night.
All right.
And I get it. Courts are crazy and a lot of different looks to them. Like you watching an Oregon game's just strange.
It is.
But did you see what the Big 12 is doing in their conference tournament? That basically the floor is an LED light system that can change no matter who's playing, with different designs, different looks. It's fascinating to me. Like, there's a video in which the guy's just sitting here, whether it's his phone or an iPad, and just hitting buttons, and it changes to be Kansas or UCF or Texas Tech or whatever the case may be. It's a little thing, but I like the hoop court. So I put it this way. I'm more interested in the Big 12 tournament now because of the court than I was before I saw the post on X.
So is this 30 years later, is this the purple puck or the blue puck or whatever it was by Fox?
No, because I don't think it's going to. Now, I don't know how much they're going to change it during play. I hope that they don't.
I do too.
What I think it allows them to do is make the, whether the higher seed team gets the home game, make it look like it's more them, or at least make it look like it's the two teams that are playing as opposed to just a neutral Big 12 court. Now, with the way, one of the things that has changed and is, I don't love it, but I get it. As someone who sold advertising inside of a hockey rink for many a year, when you watch a hockey game now, they've figured out, and baseball for that matter, but they've figured out a way to superimpose all their own advertising within the dasher boards or the baseball field or whatever the case may be.
Right.
So that former local advertiser that got that extra hit doesn't get it anymore. I'm just curious from a revenue generating standpoint, what does this mean for college basketball teams? I just thought it was something different. Hadn't seen it before. JDR is saying that it's glass. Okay. Will it, will the ball handle differently on it? I just curious as to how this is going to work in the Big 12 tournament. Thought it was a different look.
I would love
and
to
me and our old producer and sponsorships of events, we, this is a deep dark hole we can go down.
No, you love this. I would be curious if they would try to change the court depending on which team had possession. Rebound Kansas, the outlets to the guard, and all of a sudden the Texas Tech court changes to the Jayhawk court. Jayhawks have possession, put up a shot, score. Texas Tech takes the ball inbounds, change the court back. I'm sure it would drive everybody nuts, but I'd love to see him try it for, like 1 3-4 minute, period in between media timeouts.
So, these are the little things that I find over the course of a day that amuse me. But yeah, so.
All right. Fair enough. College hoop ratings, tremendous. so far this year. Fox, ESPN, even CBS, terrific ratings. Did you see, speaking of ratings, how about the ratings for the golf Sunday? All right, peaked at 5 million. That's big, ladies and gentlemen, for a regular tour
For
event.
a regular golf tournament, that's 2 million more than normal.
Did an overall rating of like 3 3/4, highest ratings since before the pandemic. I will say to the PGA Tour, listen, I know you want to shorten the season and get rid of events, but and I know you're talking about waiting till after the Super Bowl. Well, first off, next year the Super Bowl is on Valentine's Day. But listen, you got to keep Phoenix opposite the Super Bowl. They love it. The community loves it. The Waste Management loves it. CBS loves it. Okay. And when they have the Super Bowl, they give it to NBC. So it's fine. Just keep the tournament where it is.
Yeah, there's one guy that doesn't like it. Somebody wrote a piece trashing the tournament and how it's bad for golf. And I never laughed harder at the comments basically taking that guy to task.
Just come on, man, lighten up. And it's unique. There's no other tournament like it. Nobody else does the 16th in which it's stadium golf like that. Okay, just like the 17th at the Players, just like, a few other rowdy places. I mean, it's their thing. You don't like it, by the way, don't play.
And if you don't like it, don't watch or don't go as a fan.
Yeah. Now, they have limited the size of the crowds because a couple of years ago it got way drunk and out of hand. So they are selling less tickets intentionally. Okay. But this is their thing. I mean, this was where this is going back 25 years, but remember Tiger was out there and the ball, and apparently this huge boulder was in front of the ball and it was declared a loose impediment. And 20 people from the crowd came over and moved the boulder. So the Tiger had a direct shot to the green. I mean, only at Phoenix.
A drunk crowd at a golf tournament. Shocking event.
I can't believe it. I've never heard of such a thing.
You walk around for 8 hours and there's nothing else to do.
Right, except watch golf. Oh, and eat and drink. Right. Shocking.
I will say, I'm guessing it didn't hurt the number that Scheffler guy got it going on Sunday to start the day.
Sure it didn't. I'm sure it didn't. But
good for them. Good start for the golf season.
Yep, absolutely.
And I don't love what's going on the PGA Tour. I don't like the signature events, but it's saving Pebble.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, no one shows up.
No.
And this just in, that place does make pretty pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yep. First place, CBS used a drone to cover golf. Fox was the first one to do it, the 2019 U.S. Open. Their last U.S. Open, they covered it with drones. And Nance was part of it. Nance was in the booth when we did some drone coverage, and Nance, he was texting his CBS guys from the Fox booth going, "Are you watching these drone shots?" Miller and Moulton. The legendary Detroit sportscaster Eli Zaret. He will join us next. Thanks for being with us.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're the team to call.
Call the Glass Doctor, we fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239 444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Good morning, Eli. Thanks for doing this. How are you?
My pleasure. I'm very good. I'm spending the winter in Naples and getting ready for the Tigers to start spring training. I go see them in Fort Myers from time to time. But where are you guys based? Where's your studio?
We started in Fort Myers, and that's where you see Raj as man on the board, and actually in Estero is where our studio is. I live in the Fort Myers, Naples area, but I am currently doing the show from the Moffitt Cancer Center. I'm up here battling for the next few weeks.
My goodness. Well, good luck to you, my man.
Thank you. And David's in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I was in Fort Myers, Naples for 23 years, but had to move to Jacksonville 3 years ago. So.
Had to. Okay, I'm sure that's a long story. I don't need to hear it now.
I was going to say, the family went to Fort Myers, Naples because of me. 23 years later, they tapped me on the shoulder and saying, "You're going to Jacksonville for us." Okay,
good for you. You follow directions nicely.
Yeah, well, as you know, that's how you stay married almost 30 years.
Yep, good for you. I got you by more than that. So, what can I do for you, fine gentlemen, this morning? You want to talk about Justin Verlander and the Tigers, or
yeah,
what?
Absolutely. That's why we did this. We want to start with Tigers. If we venture off the reservation elsewhere, that's fine. But yeah, no. First off, it's Mark's team. He born and raised in Michigan. And Tigers are his team, and I am a huge baseball guy. And the money they've spent on their pitching in the last 3 weeks, and I'm fascinated by it. Absolutely fascinated.
I think everybody is. This was the Tiger fans, for good reason, have been very dubious about the seriousness that Chris Ilitch has to win, as opposed to his father, Mike Ilitch, who spent whatever he could spend, whoever he needed to spend, and was a sportsman who just wanted to win, and he was willing to invest whatever fortune he had, and it's a substantial one, to make the Tigers as good as they could be. This has taken us by surprise. The Tigers have been very, very cautious. They were about 17th to 20th in payroll, which kind of suits their market size. They're about 140 million, 145 million. They have now boosted by some $80 million their pitching staff, and now they're in the top 10 in payroll, because they seriously have a chance to do something this year.
Now, Eli, you will probably say all of that again starting in about 3 minutes. So, because we're on the air here in about 3 minutes. So.
Oh, I thought we were on. Okay,
sorry. This is right now. This is
I see. Okay.
This is Twitch and YouTube, so there are hundreds of people that are seeing and hearing you right now. But we will go over the radio in 3 minutes.
So, are you a Detroit? I'm sorry. Are you a Florida-based show for everything, or are you more regionalized in this area? Who are we talking to? Tiger fans, or just to Florida in general?
We're talking to sports fans. You know, Florida's a melting pot of sports fans. Everybody's from somewhere else. We're on in the Fort Myers area. We're on in Tampa. We're on in Jacksonville. We're on in 2 other smaller cities.
You're all over the place. Okay.
In Florida, and we're actually on in Huntsville, Alabama as well.
All right. Good.
But as you know, I-75 runs south, Eli.
Yeah. So you are a Michigander, because I don't I know even how you got my number. I guess you had me on a show some years back, I suppose.
Yep.
But
I'm born and raised in Saginaw. Went to Michigan State, and well, the minute I graduated from Michigan State, Eli, I went south. I didn't want to do winter anymore.
Oh,
and
man, Yeah, I don't blame you. Of course, I'm kind of retired now. I still do. I'm actually on the #1 podcast in Michigan called the Drew Lane Show. It's not really a sports-based one, but I do sports once a week. But there's no need to be up freezing your ass off in the cold. I'm telling you, it's
no.
My friends have never whined as much up north about the weather as they have this winter. It's been.
Oh, I know.
horrendous.
I know.
Anyway. So how long do you want to go? How
Well, the segment's 15 plus minutes, so that's the longest we'll go.
Okay. I can talk about anything, I tell you, because I mean, Michigan basketball, the state of college sports is, frankly, I think college sports is doomed. I don't think this will last very long. I think that ship has sailed, as they say. But as it is right now, Michigan built a team overnight with cash. That's amazing. But I'll save it.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Poll question, how much of the Olympics are you watching? Real simple. A lot, a little, none. Wow. You guys are not watching much, if any, of the Olympics. Over 80% of you are like, oh, good. What else is on? Eli Zaret's kind enough to join us, a legendary Detroit sportscaster. It's been a while since we've had him on. Okay. He is still working, however. He's part of the No Filter Sports Podcast, right? That's one of the two that you're a part of?
Well, I did that with Denny McClain and Bob Page, but no, I have we stopped that a while ago.
Oh,
Podcasting is tough. You got to sell it, you got to do it, you got to host it, you got to there's a million podcasts, and very few of them repeat episodes after 2 or 3 tries. But no, I love podcasting, and it's changed the world. But no, I don't do that anymore. No.
Follow Eli on X at Eli Zaret, Zaret. Well, tell everybody where they can get you on the podcast before we start.
Well, I'm on the Drew Lane Show. It's the #1 podcast in Michigan, but it's more of an entertainment pop culture podcast. But for the most part, I'm retired, although I do follow, the Detroit teams, and I do participate in that show from once a week, and try and do sports from an irreverent standpoint that I've always tried to, iconoclastic standpoint. Kind of a contrarian is what I am, but I'm pretty pumped up about the Tigers. I think this is a very interesting situation with this team. Spring training started, I guess, yesterday. Pitchers and catchers reported, and Justin Verlander is back with the Tigers. They suddenly made this splash in the free agent market. They signed Framber Valdez, who's one of the top pitchers on the market, and now they go into the season with a real chance to win. And yesterday, or a few days ago, they re-signed Justin Verlander, kind of a romantic story. Obviously, a future Hall of Famer who has been on the wane for the last few years with various injuries, but the last half of last season had a 2.6 ERA, the final 12 games he pitched, and now he's a Tiger again. And I think it's a very serious move and a no-risk move for the Tigers. They're only paying him $2 million, which is pocket change these days. The rest, the other $11 million, is deferred down the road. And so they got a very interesting pitching staff now with Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in the game, for one more year. This is his walk year, and with Scott Boras as his agent, the Tigers, I don't think, will be able to pay him, or should pay him, $400 million. And so they're all in, and it's exciting. And Verlander still apparently has something left in the tank. If he's healthy, he can pitch well, and that's it's quite an interesting story. So Detroiters go from not trusting this management to really do what it takes to spend the money in this very expensive era of baseball, and they did it. They got a pitcher, Valdez, who's can give you innings. He's 32, but he's strong, and he's got years to go, and it's going to be a very interesting season.
Well, there's no doubt they've got the pitching. And with Skubal, I agree with you for what it's worth, Eli. They weren't going to be able to meet what Scott Boras wanted, but it'll be, to me, there's a lot of pressure on this team in the first few months of the season. They've got to at least get off to a good start, because then if they're not in a position to make a deep run in the playoffs or make the playoffs come July, I'm curious what you think ownership will be pressed to do. Will they trade him at the deadline to try to protect the future of the team in the walk year, as you mentioned? Or do you think that now Chris Ilitch, who's running the show for both the Red Wings and the Tigers, is going to say, nope, we're going to press this out. We know he's walking, but we're going to give this team every opportunity to bring home a championship?
Well, now think of this. They're in light of that, what you're saying makes sense. But if you look at the last 2 years, they were 55 and 63 2 years ago. And again, marching towards another losing season. Suddenly, they catch fire for no discernible reason. They go 31 and 13 the rest of the way, make it into the playoffs, win a round against Houston, then lose. And then last year, if you take that back end of 2024 through the All-Star game in 2025, they were winning at 110 win pace. They were amazing. And then with a 15.5 game lead, blew it. It evaporated. It's one of the biggest collapses, if not the, in baseball history. Then kind of surged a little bit at the end to make it into the playoffs. But they won 86 games the year before, 87 last year. So who knows? They were 55 and 63 and then surged towards the playoffs. So they're going to, the fact that they're all in is important. What happens at the trade deadline? I suppose if it was a whole season was falling apart, that they would see what they could get for him. But who knows? This is what's exciting. This is what the beauty of sports. We just don't know. But going in with a rotation of Skubal, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, Framber Valdez, one of the most durable pitchers in the game, and a highly sought after free agent, Justin Verlander, who will turn 43 next week, but finished strong last year, and when he's healthy, can still deliver the goods. Then you got Jack Flaherty, who can be very, very good, and Casey Mize, who was the #1 overall pick 5 or 6 years ago. I think it was 2019. He's shown signs, and he's also shown signs of not fulfilling his promise. But it could be very, very interesting. They got a flame-throwing young right-hander named Trey Moulton, who pitched very well at the end of the year. So it's interesting. But offensively, they strike out too much. They all fell apart at the end of the year when they collapsed. Spencer Torkelson, Wensiel Perez. These are all promising young players. Torkelson also a number one overall pick. Gleyber Torres, who was a great free agent pick choice, kind of fell off the second half of the season. Zach McKinstry, who made the All-Star team coming from nowhere, fell off. Javi Baez, who we wanted to get rid of Baez. He had 2 of the worst seasons in history when they signed him as a free agent. He had a little bit of a surge. So who knows? This team was very hard to gauge, and it's one reason that they're very interesting.
Talking with Eli Zaret, legendary Detroit sportscaster. Follow him on X at Eli Zaret, Zaret. All right. If they can get a bat, and both Mark and I believe they will sometime before the deadline, that they need one at some point, they'll have to get it. What is the position? Okay, where do they need the bat the most?
Well, they need a right-handed hitting power hitter. They need that, but I really don't think they're going to do it. They've always, and this has been kind of the rap against them, they believe in developing talent. They have 2 of the top 10 offensive players in all of baseball in the minor league system. Kevin McGonigal, who probably won't make the team, and Max Clark, who was a high draft. I think he was a #3 pick in the draft. So I think they're not going to throw more money at a bat that may not work. Everybody wanted him to get Suarez last year, but he was of minimal help to Seattle, though he did have a couple of big hits in the postseason. I think they're going to just count on what they have offensively to carry them. And it's very much in doubt considering the way they finished last year. But I can't see them investing more. Their payroll is up to $220 million. It's probably the 7th or 8th, and I can't see them risking anything on a hitter. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens around the trade deadline. Don't know.
You know, as we were talking during the break, this is a departure from what Mr. Ilitch, Mike Ilitch did and Chris Ilitch, because as he was going on in years, he wanted another championship more than anything and spent what it took, even though he didn't get that final victory. Is there, I don't know if resentment's the right word, but how is the younger Ilitch being treated by the fan base? Do they want him to spend?
Poorly. Him and Scott Harris, his boy wonder general manager, they've just toyed around with draft picks. They traded their stars away for draft picks. They believe in building it this way. You know, I think all teams have a look towards controllable players that are up to 6 years before they're free agents. So this is the first time Chris Ilitch has really stepped up, and I think he's kind of remade his image a little bit. But no, until this time, he fared poorly in the comparison with his father. Put it that way.
Is this the best Michigan basketball team since the Fab Five? The 2013 played for the Natty. It was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. But is this team the best team in 30 years?
This team is remarkable, and it's such a new era in college sports, an era that I think is doomed, by the way. But think of what they did. And I tell you, we've come to the point in college sports now where the money is in it, where the general manager is probably the most important person, at least equal to the coach. So what Michigan did was they lost 2 7-footers to the NBA, had to replace a front line of Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden, 2 7-footers that powered Michigan from 8 wins under the miserable leadership of Juwan Howard to 27 last year. Well, they go out to all 4 corners of the country. They get Ade Mara, a 7'3" guy from UCLA. They take Vince Yaxel Lendenborg at UAB not to turn pro. They'll give him $3 million instead of the $2 million he would have made as a late first-round draft pick. They go to North Carolina and get a guard in Elliot Cadeau. And they go right next door in the Midwest and get Morez Johnson. They have these Johnson and Lendenborg have NBA bodies. They're 6'9", 250. Mara is 7'3". This team is amazing. They almost lost to Northwestern last night. That was a scare. We're down 16 in the second half. But they are, we'll have to see it play out. But I was watching them. Bill Raftery and Bruce Pearl were doing color commentary last week when they played Penn State, and they could not stop praising, just gushing with praise, this Michigan team. And it was built out of nowhere. And I wonder, do these kids even know what it's like to go to Michigan besides to play basketball? They're mercenaries. They're temporaries. They're just, part-time help. Who knows where they'll go next year? They're all just taking the next rung towards NBA stardom. They may all leave, but for now, in this moment, they're an amazing team that plays beautifully together. And give credit to Dusty May, how he has brought the 4 disparate players from other parts of the country and molded this team. And as Pearl said and Raftery, Arizona and Michigan, and then there's everybody else in the NCAA. To answer your question, hard to compare the 2 eras. The Fab Five were 5 freshmen. 5 freshmen. Now, as we hear from guys like Tom Izzo from your alma mater, Mark, the game is irreparably changed. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. There's money here and there's no solution. And how will the illusion of college basketball, and it was an illusion that they were amateurs, because we know in a multi-billion-dollar business, you can hardly call it amateur. So I think they're a great team. How great? That's a tough one to say, but I'd like to see them win a championship, and they might.
He's Eli Zaret, longtime voice in the Detroit sports world, joining us here on Miller and Moulton. Eli, I know you're down in Naples, spending your winter down there. Enjoy the warm weather. Hopefully you can get a few spring training games in. And thanks for taking a little time with us.
My pleasure. Good seeing you guys.
Eli Zaret, Follow him on X at Eli Zaret, Z-A-R-E-T. Joining us. It's been a while. It's great to talk to him on Miller and Moulton.
I don't think college sports is doomed. It's
I
different.
know.
I don't think it's doomed. And we probably, another segment could have probably let him go a little bit longer on that, but I don't think he could have given a sufficient answer as to why in 90 seconds time, if you know what I mean.
Right. But we may just have to have him back just for that one thing. Hey, you said something last time we had you on. Can we talk about that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm curious why he thinks it's, gonna, doomed means it's gonna end.
Right.
Or it's gonna not be good at all.
And you and I are bullish on college basketball this season. While, I said earlier the same thing that Eli said there, that Arizona and Michigan are the top tier, but that next tier is excellent with UConn and Illinois and Iowa State and Houston and Michigan State and Duke. I mean, there are some really, Florida, I think, is an excellent team. I think this Florida team can match up with anyone in one game.
There's 5 Big Ten teams that are top 12 in the country. So I think the tournament's going to be the second week and the Final Four, I think are going to be awesome. It's going to be big, big boys.
It's my kind of tournament, David. You know that.
Sure is. No, it is your tournament. There's going to be very few. I don't know if a double-digit seed will make the Sweet 16. Even a 10 seed. I really don't know if one will.
I do wonder with the year Miami of Ohio is having, because the MAC is such a bad conference. If they lose, are we sure they're in? Are you sure?
Screw the Zaret and all that stuff. Come on now. What are they, 24-0? Seriously? Come on. Put them in the tournament. Put them in an 8-9 game. Good luck, boys. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off duties. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
Hey, Southwest Florida, Jimmy the Beef Guy here. For you that haven't tried us yet, you gotta get in here and try my favorite 5 Chicago-style sandwiches. I got the Italian beef, I got the Italian sausage, the sausage and beef, the Maxwell Street Polish, and our soon-to-be famous breaded steak. Call us at either one of our locations in Bonita Springs and Fort Myers. Hey, guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced jardiniere.
At the Diamond District, we've built our inventory since day one.
We never pass on beautiful jewelry. For years, we've chosen exceptional diamonds and fine jewelry.
And when you buy with love for 2 decades,
your vault fills with extraordinary jewelry. That's why we're emptying the vault now through Valentine's Day. Enjoy rare pricing on jewelry chosen to celebrate love, connection, and commitment.
Will you be mine? Starts with diamonds from the Diamond District. Hablamos Español.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Hey, Mark.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the final hour of Miller and Moulton on this Thursday. Thanks so much for being with us. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day went in about 35 minutes. A lot to kick around today. Our guests talked a little Tigers, Michigan basketball, number 2 team in the country, 1 loss, and little racing with Daytona. I saw the forecast. Rain on Sunday. Even greater percentage of chance on Monday. Oh, come on. Yeah. Of course, it's sunny as heck leading up to it. I mean, if you had a forecast like that, if it was golf, wouldn't you move it up?
Probably.
I'm not a
Probably.
NASCAR fan, but I'm not a NASCAR fan at all. But this seems like an annual thing, right?
Well, and it's weird because it's mid-February and it's Florida, and it's like, why are we getting rain? But yeah, Daytona gets a lot more rain on race day than it does on any other day in February, I think. So I'm worried.
This will bother David.
Yep, it will.
And then what'll really bother him is that my sarcastic text will start early in the afternoon on Sunday.
Because he'll put it on. It covered starts at 2:30, and the cars will be covered, and it'll be raining, and it'll just be game on. Game on.
You already look frustrated, David.
Doesn't he?
I am. Well, here's why. Because they don't move the damn race up. All right. And all right, 60% chance on Sunday, 80% on Monday. What does that tell you? The rain is probably later in the day Sunday, and it's going to linger into Monday. Okay. So move the damn race up.
Well, see, David, you already know this, but I have to remind you at this point in the show. See, this is wait for it, television show.
I know it is.
And the folks in Daytona no longer have anything to do with when the start of this race is.
Okay. Hold on. You and I are golf fans. How many times do they move up 2-3 hours? For PGA Tour event, and they tape it live. And then they just cue the sucker up and run it from 3 to 6. And the tournament's been over from the moment the coverage started.
Yep.
Why?
No, you're right.
Because they got to get in the event. I mean, come on now.
And I mean, what is it? You said it's sold out. Is that 100 and some thousand people, 200,000 people? I don't know what it holds, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. But it's at least over 100,000 people, right?
Oh, yeah, well over that. I think it's well over $150 in terms of what they're selling, yeah.
And then the infield and all of those things. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're talking, and I mean, this is the biggest week for that city that they have all year. Bigger than spring break, bigger than bike week. The race week's a huge week for Daytona. I'm surprised, by the way. Now that you've been what is a person from Jacksonville called?
Oh, First Coast.
Okay, I'm a Michigander. I didn't know if you were a Jacksonvillian.
No, I've never heard anything like that, or a Jacksonvonian or anything. No, it's just you're from the First Coast.
Gotcha. I'm just surprised that you haven't made your way down 95 for a race since you've moved to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your love of this right now. I'm not even saying the 500. I'm saying the twin 150s here. You know, I'm surprised that you haven't figured out a way to sneak over and catch a little bit of racing.
Well, I will. You know what's been going on in my life, so it hasn't been convenient, but I will, one of these 500s, before the decade is up, I will be at Daytona for the 500.
And I think you have to figure out a way to kidnap the grandson. Get some big, earmuffs on him and get him hooked on racing.
Oh boy.
Because that would, I mean, nothing would piss your daughter off more than your grandson going to a NASCAR race.
No, it wouldn't. And I would call in every chip I had with the people I still know at Fox and say, where do I have to stand so that you can do a 3-second cutaway of me holding my grandkid with the big damn, cups on the ear there? What do we have to do? Okay.
Right.
You guys would love this shot. Not only that, he's got fat cheeks. Okay. It looks like me. I'm sorry about that. I already apologized profusely to the family, but okay. Big forehead, big head, big cheeks, big belly. Looks just like me. But yeah, let's do it.
That I could see. That I could see being a big grandson moment. I'm being and I'm not even messing with you right now.
No, I know. I'd bring my son-in-law. And yeah.
Is he necessary, really?
Well, you know what? He's not bad.
I know, but you know what? You got to have someone there to be in complete control.
Well, yeah, no, I got to have somebody to hand the kid to and go,
right.
No, I'm done. I had 22 minutes. I'm tired. Yeah. Oh, but the wife and daughter.
That's
their minds.
I need this to happen.
Lose their minds. And now I'm more excited about doing this than I've ever been before. In fact, I'll buy him some racing stuff. I mean, he's 4 or 5 months old now, so we got to wait 3
Yeah, I mean, you got to wait a couple, 3 years. Exactly.
Yeah, right. But then absolutely put the cans on him, get him in some NASCAR gear.
Get him in his Ross Chastain shirt.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Maybe get him eating some watermelon while watching the Melon Man. I mean, there's a lot you could do here.
No doubt about it. In fact, that's probably the shot for Fox. Okay, standing there in which he's got the Ross Chastain stuff on, the big cans, and he's eating some melon.
And I mean, watermelon juice dripping off those fat cheeks.
Yeah.
Maybe a seed stuck on the cheek.
Totally. And I'm not going to put a hat on him because I want, everybody to see just how fat that face is and how big that forehead is. Okay. Makes kids look cuter. Besides he'll have the cans. That'll only make the head look bigger. Have the cans on you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Now I'm excited.
There you go.
And now I got to wait 3-4 years. Damn.
I know. See what I did there? I even turned this all around. I had you depressed about the 500. Now at least you got you excited about the 2030 Daytona 500.
Exactly. Of course, it's going to rain for the next 500. So hopefully by then, that just will depress me. It will really anger me if it's clear all morning and early afternoon. And then sure enough, okay, sometime between 2:30 and 3:30, it's starting to rain. Really? And
then we end up with the Daytona 238.
Right. Well, yeah, Michael Waltrip win the 272 on jet fuel there. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's disgrace. That's another thing. This race has to go 500 miles. I don't care if it's 3 a.m. This race has to go 500 miles. This race should never, ever, ever be shortened. You can't call it the Super Bowl of racing, the Great American Race, and shorten the sucker. Okay? Sorry if they got to stay. I don't care if there's 9 people in the stands. Don't know what to tell you. We're not done yet.
Trust me, the racers would be fine for the most part. 99% of them.
They'd be fine. They fly private. I mean, they'd be awful for the crews. Okay, and what have you, but don't know what to tell you.
So we'll keep an eye on the weather, see if they start early, see if they actually finish this thing by 3 instead of started at 3. But they'll all play weatherman and try to figure out what's best for them. We've talked a little college basketball today. We've talked a little baseball today. We've talked some racing today. We've talked a little bit of Olympics today. The hockey gets going full on today. Canadian team plays at 10:30 this morning.
And we talked about the money in sports. Okay, Sportico with their annual list as to how much every team is worth. Man, Costs a lot of money.
And Ben Roethlisberger getting taken to task by Joey Porter.
Makes you wonder just how many Steelers are going to show up in Canton in a year and a half when he's inducted. By the way, we're not wrong, right? I mean, he is a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? I mean, Eli was an excellent quarterback. He was an amazing postseason quarterback. But Ben Roethlisberger was, there was Brady, there was Manning, and then there was Roethlisberger, right?
I think you're right.
He wasn't Brady Manning, but he was at the top of the next group, right?
I believe so.
He's got to just walk right in.
Does this affect that?
No, it shouldn't. But then again, who knows? They just get Belichick out, for goodness sakes. Who the hell knows? I understand his last 2-3 years. Okay, he wasn't what he was. I get it. And even though they had great team success in 04 and 05, it wasn't because of him. Okay, but from like 2007 to 2019, Ben Roethlisberger was a dude.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. So when I looked at the guys that were coming up, I thought that was an automatic, David.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, we haven't lost our minds here. Because if he doesn't make it first time around, I give up. I really do. Wasn't he top 4 in the league?
So,
you had Brady, you had Manning, you had Breeze, you had Roethlisberger, right? Wasn't that the 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah, and those years you're talking about, 27 to 20, and I think you can go as far as 2017. That's a long run. 10-5, 12-4, 9-6. This is his record. 9-3, got hurt. 11-4. Then a couple of rough years. 7-6, 8-8. Came back 11-5, 7-4, 10-4, 12-3. That's his numbers as a starter.
And I even thought at the end of the 20-teens that he was propping up that team when they were starting to lose, the wide receiver and then the running back, and but he was still terrific. Anyway, Miller and Moulton. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap today was the day 1 in 25 minutes.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
American Paint Supplies, for nearly 30 years, is your one-stop shop for all your coating needs. If you are a designer, a contractor, a professional painter, or a weekend warrior, American Paint Supplies is the place where experts go to get expert solutions. At 6100 Shirley Street in Naples off of Pine Ridge, American Paint Supplies delivers the best solutions with the best products with the best support. Meet Gene and his team today at American Paint Supplies. Call 239-566-2700. That's 566-2700 or online at AmericanPaintSupplies.net.
Let's talk the big differences between Floor Meisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floor Meisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floor Meisters backs their installer. So if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floor Meisters prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floor Meisters in Naples. FloorMeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yeah, Javier, I agree with you, but it's not going to happen.
All right, fans, welcome LSU head coach Lane Kiffin to the Smoothie King Center. Hey, friends.
That's hysterical.
I don't know, Left Twix. If it happens, it'll happen here in the next couple of days. There's no way of telling. They've kind of said that it will, but he's got to make the playoff, Left Twix. Doesn't matter if it's 2 or 1. He's got to make the playoff next year.
Who's that?
Lane.
Did you see the moment during the Heat Pelicans game? He's
No,
sitting courtside with, I'm assuming, I don't know if it's a girlfriend or a daughter. And, they joining us tonight, courtside, LSU football coach Lane Kiffin. And he puts his hand up like this. Okay. 4 people are applauding at the Pelicans game. 4.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today's the day when coming up in a little more than 15 minutes time. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Poll question today. How much of the Olympics are you watching? A lot, a little, none. Whew. Man, I know we're not the target audience. The Olympics are for women, but usually we're in the same room. I mean, we end up watching a decent amount, osmosis. Ooh, over 80% of our audience is like, yeah, I'm either watching very little or none.
Yeah, I'm in the very little category. I think that's where you are as well, David.
Yeah, I am.
Now, you and I like the luge and bobsled. There's not been a lot of that going on yet. My watching may pick up. The hockey obviously will garner my interest.
Right. Yep. U.S. today at 3:00 against Latvia. Canada in a little more than an hour with their first game.
By the way, it is the Diamond District bonus hour. I think David just said that, but I'm not sure. I wasn't paying attention. It is Valentine's Day Saturday. You've still got a couple of days.
Right. Please don't screw it up, guys. Just don't.
Text my daughter this morning and said, hey, call me when you get home from school. I'll let you know where there's a little cash. I need you and Grandma to pick up a couple of things and
right, little something.
Yeah, just make sure.
Yeah. Got to come through for Dad here. I know Dad's sick right now, but trust me, you don't get a mulligan on this one. It's Valentine's Day. You don't get a mulligan. I was threatened.
You were threatened?
I was threatened. I was. Yes. I was funny. We're waiting at the doctor's office. We're actually in the room. So it's just the two of us. And she turns out of nowhere and goes, listen, I need you to listen to me. Okay. There's no excuse. I don't want flowers. You got it? And so I'm laughing at her. I'm like, I can't even get you flowers on Valentine's Day. I go, you're that unromantic. Okay. You are that. And I called her a pet rock. I go, you've become a pet rock. That's how much romance you have left in you. She says, I want food.
Chocolate. The woman loves chocolate.
Nope. I've been told no.
Food. Are you having to take her out to dinner on Saturday night?
Here's the other thing. She's become antisocial. I may have to do DoorDash. I may just have to do it from a nicer place than normal.
All right. I'm going to give you a suggestion, and I don't mean to belittle those that do DoorDash. You may have to go all out, David. You may have to pick it up yourself.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I said, listen, how about if I go? I'll pick it up. Okay. All these places are within 15 minutes of where we live. Come on. I mean, Mark, you know where my wife's going to order from. Okay.
Well, I think you need to take it upon yourself to order for her.
Well, I understand, but I mean, to get my wife, high end for my wife's like Carrabba's. Come on. I'll pick it up. No. Maybe I could stop off somewhere else, sneak something in,
David, I think this would be fun. And I'm not going to get you in trouble. I think she would be amused by this.
Okay.
And I know it will amuse you doing it, which
right.
Let's be honest, that's the most important thing here.
At this stage of the game, it's really all I'm trying for.
Much like the edible arrangement, I believe there are little gadgets you can buy to make like a flower bouquet, but just put gift cards in it. DoorDash,
Gotcha.
Restaurants, etc. And where it's set up like it looks like it's going to be flowers and it's just a bouquet of gift cards. And that way you have done the romance part of it by getting the flowers,
right.
But you didn't buy the flowers to get yourself in trouble.
Right. Because, I mean, what man gets in trouble for getting his woman flowers and chocolate on Valentine's Day? I mean, this used to be a lot easier. It really was.
You know who gets screwed on this deal? No, I mean, I don't mean between you and your wife here. Hopefully, both of you. But on this Valentine's Day being a Saturday night, the server. Saturday night's a money night if you're a server. You make a lot of money on Saturdays.
Yeah.
It's the best night of the week for you to make money. Valentine's Day as a server sucks. I'm telling you right now. First off, it's a bit of amateur hour. You got people that are going out for dinner that normally don't go out. So they're not the big tipper. Two, they're not drinking as much. They're not partying. They're being romantic. They take a little longer at the table. They want to gaze into one another's eyes. And yes, they're going to have a dessert that they're going to split. And then, and it's all two tops. Two tops don't, even percentage-wise, your bigger tables, they tip better. They just do.
Sure.
I'm telling you. And the restaurant will do fine because they're going to be busy either way.
Yep.
But the server, my people,
right?
They're taking it on the chin this Valentine's Day. Now it doesn't bother them when it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because then it adds to what's a really good week.
Right.
But on a Saturday, that's not good.
No, I'm with you. Plus, not only that, you have some restaurants that are offering like specials, at dinner.
Oh yeah.
So the restaurant's doing okay, but the server then, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to go to a restaurant again.
I can't either. Just to pick up the food, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So
Diamond District for those of you that don't want to take your wife to a restaurant on Saturday. How about that?
Right. Absolutely. Yep. And I'll take suggestions, by the way. Okay. DM me, hit me up in the chat rooms, you name it. Mark will forward the text if anybody's going to do, Pelican Roofing text line. I'll take suggestions for the next day and a half. The funnier, the better. To punish her. And I don't mean nasty, but I mean, no, if you don't want flowers, and for that matter, you're not eating chocolate these days. Great. This is awesome.
My mother-in-law would constantly tell my wife that she for her birthday or for Christmas, I just want a kind word, peace and quiet. So my wife bought nice paper for the computer and printed out a kind word and peace and quiet and framed them and gave them to her for Christmas one year. Now, There were a bunch of gift cards in there and a bunch of other stuff, but she was pretty proud of herself for that one. And to my mother-in-law's credit, they're both hanging right by where she has breakfast every morning.
She asked for it.
You got it.
Yep.
You got it. So you're not watching the Olympics. We get it. We hope you're watching a little, and you're stuck with college hoop then for the next. I mean, the NBA All-Star game's coming. That's not worth watching. The NHL's on break. I mean, you've got college hoop then for the next 10 days, right?
Well, here's the other thing. I believe, doesn't NBC have the NBA All-Star game? I thought it starts at like 5:00 Sunday on NBC Peacock.
So following.
Well, but it usually don't, when you have the Olympics, you usually don't preempt the Olympics. You run the Olympics. But did you see the story, by the way, between the Super Bowl, the Olympics, and the NBA All-Star game in a 3-week span? Did you see how much revenue NBC is going to make in the 3 weeks? Now, not profit, but just revenue.
Pretty penny, I'm sure.
$2 billion. $2 billion in checks, essentially, they will cash this month with those 3 events. Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Get ready, Southwest Florida. The Southwest Florida Ag Expo is back. Now's the time to save big with the Mega Pass. Your all-in-one ticket to the fun, one low price. Get your one-day admission and unlimited midway rides. Mega Passes available online through February 26th at swflagexpo.com. Don't wait. Grab yours. Get ready for roots, rides, and real fun. Lee County, building a better community through business, sports, and tourism.
Got a cracked window or foggy glass? Don't wait for the next storm to make it worse. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business is just down the road and ready to help. From leaky frames to shattered panes, we've got the tools and the know-how to get your home or business storm ready. With flexible scheduling and our done right promise, you'll be in good hands. So before or after the weather hits, call your neighbors at Glass Doctor.
Glass Doctor, Glass Doctor. Call the Glass Doctor. We fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Yes, it is. Bruins fan. Yes, it is. And I'm scheduled to be working the game. Not crazy about it being in LA, but what can you do? Also means Daytona will be on the 21st. And we'll have a holiday after the Super Bowl next year because third Monday is the 15th.
So Valentine's Day is Super Bowl Sunday next year? Wow, I didn't realize that.
And I guess MLK Day is the day after that.
No. MLK Day will never be in
David just
February.
said that. It's the third Monday of February.
Of January.
Oh, maybe he was talking about another holiday, maybe.
President's Day.
Oh, okay. I got my months mixed up.
Yeah, February 14th. I'll be damned. Wow. Wow. That's something.
Yeah, David said he'd be in LA for the game.
David, I will read this. I got to read a text to start the next segment out because
great.
You will appreciate this.
Good.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. That's it for us on this Thursday. You miss any part of the show, go to millerandmoulton.com. millerandmoulton.com. We've had a lot of fun today. We're lighthearted today. We talked about movies that make men cry. Just had a Valentine's Day saga. We kind of let our hair down a little bit today. A lot of sports, but a lot of fun also.
Speaking of Valentine's Day, David, on the Pelican Roofing of Florida text line, he says, my wife is a social worker. Been married 30 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Thought you might pay attention. Her words. I have told you in the past, if I buy flowers, jewelry, or other stuff for Valentine's Day, my wife says it's financial malpractice.
Wow. Is my wife married to two men?
It's possible, David. It is certainly possible.
Oh, my goodness. Are we in Utah?
Birds of a feather.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
All right, not a lot today, but Georgia, founded today by James Oglethorpe in 1773 in Savannah. 1795, the first U.S. state university opens. The University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. My alma mater, established today in 1855, Michigan State.
Oh, wow.
The NAACP, formed today in 1909. Huge gap. We moved to 1981. This is a biggie. Rush releases moving pictures.
When was this?
81.
Yeah, I saw him at the Garden. Yeah. No opening act, by the way. I just played for 2 hours.
Gretzky scored his 153 point of the season today in 82, breaking the NHL record for a season.
Which still had, 6 weeks left to go?
Right.
It was shorter then, but still, it had over a month left.
Why it didn't open on Groundhog's Day makes no sense to me, but today in 93, Groundhog Day opened in theaters across the country.
Yeah.
You don't like it, right? You're an
No.
anti-Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I actually didn't find it that funny. No. I felt about the movie the way his character felt about Groundhog Day.
Fair enough. A big day for me today in 94. The Winter Games in Lillehammer opened.
Did you enjoy the opening ceremonies? How were
I
they?
did. Marching in's a memory I'll never remember or forget. But today in 99, Clinton is acquitted by the Senate in his impeachment trial. 2007. This was so stupid. Marty Schottenheimer was fired by the San Diego Chargers.
Going off a 14-2 season.
14-2, and they fired him.
Got beat by the Patriots in the divisional round at home. And the owner, apparently Schottenheimer and the GM hadn't spoken in a year.
Right.
And so the owner just, broke the tie, if you will, and got rid of Marty.
And 3 years ago today, in a great Super Bowl, the Chiefs beat the Eagles 38-35. Rihanna was your halftime performer, her first live performance in 6 years, as Patrick Mahomes won the MVP at the Glendale Super Bowl.
She was pregnant, remember?
Yeah. Abraham Lincoln, Charles Darwin, General Owen Bradley, Joe Garagiola, who, by the way, Joe Garagiola, sure, the baseball player, yeah, sure, the broadcaster, he would be the guest host on the Tonight Show.
Correct.
That of all of the things he did, okay, I get the baseball and the broadcast. Hey, Johnny's got the night off. Who are we going to get? Joan Rivers? Now let's get Joe Garagiola. Never made sense to me. Bill Russell, Ray Manzarek from The Doors, and Tiger great Chet Lemon would have all celebrated birthdays today.
Wow, there's some heavyweights there, though.
Yeah.
Bill Russell, Lincoln. Who was that? The guy right after him?
Darwin.
Yeah, exactly.
Darwin and Lincoln born on the same day, by the way. Like same year, same day.
Huh. That's like Adams and Jefferson.
Michael McDonald, if you all finish the show and want to tune into some yacht rock, you'll probably hear Michael McDonald. He's 74 today. Arsenio Hall is 70, and Robert Griffin III is 36 years old today. What did I miss, David?
Nothing. I checked my list while you were doing it. Nothing.
Yeah, not a good day.
By the way, Adams and Jefferson not born on the same day. They died.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What do you got, Mark?
We go to Cape Coral for the good, where a couple of high school juniors noticed smoke coming from a car in the school's parking lot, took immediate action. It was coming from under the hood. They're like, this isn't normal. So they got the fire extinguisher, called 911, got the fire put out before it broke out among many vehicles. Apparently, a fire can double in size every 30 seconds. So these two high school juniors, good job. Surprised they didn't grab their phones and start filming it. That's a shot.
It is.
For the bad, we go to Fort Myers, where video showing a high-speed chase that ended with the arrest of Angel Perez. He fled from his car and then barricaded himself inside of a home for an hour. Witnesses actually saw the chase. He's been arrested many times. And after the hour, he was finally emerged and was arrested with 2 weapons. Fortunately, no injuries to report. And finally, the ugly, we go to Lakeland, where a DoorDash driver was arrested on Tuesday after a doorbell camera showed him stealing a package from a porch. An investigation began after a stolen package to the home in Lakeland. Resident of the home said the Ring doorbell camera recorded a man wearing a hoodie and a baseball cap approach the front door. He could be seen carrying an empty DoorDash delivery bag while concealing his face from the camera. He took a large package before fleeing in a dark SUV. It was worth $70. Hope it was worth it. And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, February the 12th, brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department. Hiring new officers, great pay, great benefits, lots of overtime opportunities, other jobs available. For all information, capecops.com, capecops.com.
Pebble Beach gets underway in a couple hours. Got a whole lot of places where you can get your golf these days. It's a CBS event, so that means Paramount Plus, never mind ESPN Plus, never mind the Golf Channel. But they tee off just before noon Eastern at Pebble. It's a signature event, so it's a terrific field. Otherwise, not a single ranked team in action in college hoops tonight. Terrible night. And only 3 NBA games. The final 3 games before the All-Star break. Amazon with the double dip at 7:30 and 10. Milwaukee, OKC. Mavs and Lakers. We'll see who plays for the Lakers tonight, considering no Luka, no LeBron, no Austin Reeves 2 nights ago. It's embarrassing. Amazon Prime, 7:30 and 10 for that one.
Yeah, this is going to be we don't have the NBA until the 19th after tonight. Obviously, the NHL's on a big break. It is, like you said, a lousy night for college basketball. They've got a great opportunity here to get a lot of eyeballs.
Yep.
A lot of eyeballs. And between the Big 10 and the Big 12, there should be great conference games, damn near every night, David.
You do have the Twin 150s beginning at 7 o'clock tonight on FS1. Will fill out the rest of the Daytona 500 field. So got that tonight. But so that's why Fox is tied up with Daytona. All right. But, what's ESPN doing tonight? What are they showing tonight?
By the way, Rory won last year at Pebble.
Yep.
Scotty wins everything.
Right.
But Russell Henley, that's my pick.
Really?
For Pebble this week. Yeah.
Huh.
The research I've done, David, that's where I win on my fantasy golf team. That's all I've got these days.
I understand. Tell you what, there's some big name guys who haven't done squat in a while. Like, when do we start bailing on Shoffley? When do we start bailing on who's the other guy who shouldn't have been on the Ryder Cup team?
Oh, goodness. All right, I'll get there.
Morikawa. When do we start bailing on these guys? Because, they're big names and they still have gaudy rankings. But I don't know, man. Been watching them play. They're not even competitive.
No, it's what is it? This Kim's off to he's been playing great every week.
Yep.
But like Shane Lowry, his first bunch of guys, it's their first tournament of the year.
Yeah, which is interesting in and of itself.
Well, they didn't have the free cash grab in Maui this year because that was canceled, David. The Tournament of Champions. That's that they always usually go to Hawaii, and then a lot of them will stick around for the second week. But when it was only one, a lot of them didn't play this year.
Victor Hovland won his U.S. Amateur at Pebble.
I like that.
So that's 7.5
He played
years
well.
ago.
He played well last week, though. He finished strong. Right. He had a good tournament. That's a nice pick.
So I'm just throwing that out there. He won his U.S. Amateur, and he was dominant when winning his U.S. Amateur. I was lucky enough to be there 7.5 years ago. So a bit curious about him this week.
Hockey starts in 40 minutes time. The Canadians play at 10:30. Yeah, the Swiss and France played earlier, but they don't count.
Switzerland, hold on.
I hope so.
I know.
If I were to give you Chechnya and 3.5 goals, would you take it?
Yes, I would. Against Canada. Yes, I would. Yeah.
All right. We'll have a little fun. I'll a DoorDash meal bet. How about that? Since we're not in the same city for lunch anymore.
So our Valentine's Day meal here
exactly
at the Moulton House. I was riding on this. Switzerland 4-0 over France, by the way.
I think Canada might score 8 today.
All right. We'll see.
I did see a funny comment from a bit of a podcast that I caught highlights of, where they said, who will be the first player that complains because, the ice is like 3 feet shorter. And the guy couldn't get the question out of his mouth. But Sid's going to make a bank pass off the boards, and it's not going to end up on the tape of a guy's stick. And he's just going to look incredulously at everyone like, what just happened?
Damn rink. He's still so good.
Yes, he is. And he's the third line center on this team.
No. They are kind of deep. We have to hope that the goaltending falters again, right?
Absolutely.
Which it didn't in the Four Nations. Well, actually, it did until the final. So that's kind of.
They may only get one shot at Canada, that being the U.S. So that's, to me, I think that's a good thing. If they don't have to play them twice, that's a good thing.
So Canada in 45 minutes, and then Team USA at 3:00. First time in 12 years that the NHL players are in the Olympics. No Russia still in these competitions.
And we all understand why. And it's the right reason. It just doesn't make the tournament as good. There's no two ways about it.
No way. No. And we can debate, should the IOC get involved in politics? Okay, or should they just be about sports?
Pat Kerwin to join us tomorrow, at least scheduled to. It'll be the first time since August that I won't be able to say Football Friday. Oh, how it hurts. Miller and Moulton, enjoy the rest of your day.
Think we only fix windows? Think again. Your local Glass Doctor Home and Business does so much more to upgrade your home. We custom build stunning shower and bath enclosures, install sleek glass doors and windows, and can bring fresh life to foggy or cracked panes. Need a glass tabletop or a statement mirror? Yep, we do that too. If it's glass and it's in your home, we're